That was a great counter right there.
Wow. Look at that head movement. We have a little bit more time.
Oh, that was huge.
Wow.
Good evening and welcome to the Butler Family Sports Center. Thank you for being with us, and we want to welcome everyone watching live all over the world on GOTC MMA.com and other affiliated links. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming out tonight. Dana White, I'm going to paraphrase him, has considered and referred to the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission is without a doubt being the best athletic commission in this country. So I'd like to tell you with great pride that these bouts are approved and sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. Our commissioner at ringside is Rick Steigerwald. Our executive director is the Honorable Greg Sir. Your officials for tonight, the judges, Todd Kriska, John Lepsivic, Kevin Armstrong, and Drew Atkins. Your referee, you may have seen him on many live telecasts throughout the years, our referee, Mr. William Bookwalter. Your timekeeper at the bell, Stephen the Hammer Kruth. Your physician at ringside is Dr. Mark Karras. And I'm your ring announcer, Dan Bogan. It's a pleasure to be with you folks tonight. At this time, we'd like to welcome, and this is probably the most pleasant announcement you'll get tonight, our ring girls into the cage to do a warm-up lap. Let's welcome our ring girls, Crystal. Do a warm-up lap. A pace lap. Crystal. Ashton. And I really can't call her our senior ring girl, but our official returning ring girl, Emma. Let's hear it for our ring girls, ladies and gentlemen. Also want to welcome our broadcast team, Charlie Smith and Mark Willis, and also handling your after-fight interviews with the winner will be Charlie Smith. I'm sorry. We're ready to start our event at this time, ladies and gentlemen. So, we've got 18 fighters up there in that balcony that have trained hard. They bled, they sweat, they cried, all to put on a good show and fight their hearts out for you tonight. So, I've got a question. Butler, are you ready? I didn't make that clear, I guess. They really worked, and they're going to come in here and fight another man in a cage. Butler, are you ready? That's better. It's fight time. Let's get this party started. Calling out first from the blue corner, we need Ryan Thorne. Ryan Thorne on the blue corner.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our first bout of the evening. We've got Ryan Thorne about to take on Vincent Meng. Both fighters in the 155-pound lightweight division. Coming out first, we've got Ryan Thorne in the blue corner. He's 25 years of age, fighting out of Pennsylvania.
Ryan Thorne here has a 0-3 record, but he's had hard losses, 2 split decisions. Trying to get his first W tonight.
Absolutely, and to the folks listening right now, I just want to let you know there's a very, very long walk from the locker room out to the cage here tonight. A lot of anticipation going to be building up for these fighters, and a lot of awkward banter coming from myself and Mike Willis. By the way, my name is Grant Berger, and with me is Mike Willis, commentating for you tonight. Doing the post-fight interview is Charlie Smith, wearing the beautiful suit. You'll see him in a few minutes. Ryan Thorne giving a nice bro hug to his coach here tonight. 0-3 record. Ryan Thorne's last fight was a loss versus Milan Griffin via split decision in April of this year. He's had 3 decision losses on his record, 2 of which are split decisions. So what that says to me and anybody else that's able to analyze the fight, if he has 2 split decision losses on his record, that means he's down to fight. He's a very game fighter. He's a tough guy, and he's willing to go in there and throw down. It's not as if these were like quick losses, quick knockout submissions.
Now from the red corner, Vince Meng. Vince Meng to the cage.
Vincent Meng taking the long walk from the locker room out to the cage here tonight.
Don't know much about him. This is his first fight ever.
It is his first fight. So one thing we have to say about this is that although Ryan Thorne has had 3 fights and Vince Meng's had none, obviously Ryan Thorne's got a little bit more experience than Meng. But you don't know what you're going to get from a fighter like this. He's coming from Stout Training Pittsburgh, which is one of the biggest and most renowned teams in the Pittsburgh area, and they really, really put out a good product as far as young men fighting and women. Excuse me.
Yeah, this is the Pittsburgh Henzo Gracie camp, and as such, they're not going to put somebody in there that isn't prepared. You're going to get most likely a guy that is ready to fight.
Absolutely. And you can see right now, Vince Meng's getting his face greased up by the one and only Mike Wilkins. Highly, highly touted fighter in the Pittsburgh area, professional. A lot of guys think he has hopes for the UFC in the future, and having him in the corner and as a training partner and a coach is really a big advantage on the psyche and the fighting experience. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our opening contest in the Gladiators of the Cage amateur lightweight division, calling for 3 2-minute rounds. First introducing, he's fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 153 pounds. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He has a record of 0-3. 25 years of age. He fights for Team Vicious. He's from California by way of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Ryan Shadow Thorne. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 154 pounds. He stands 5 feet 9 inches. He fights out of the Henzo Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Stout Training in Pittsburgh. He's making his amateur debut at 25 years of age. He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Vince Meng. The man in charge when the bell rings, Mr. Bill Bookwalter.
There you go, guys. All right, back to your corner. Give me a favor. Over here.
See a nice sign of show of respect between both fighters.
Keep ready.
You know, I got to say,
Here we go.
right off
Buddy,
the
ready?
bat, I think Ryan Thorne is has a little bit more musculature to him versus Vince Meng.
I think he does, but what Vince Meng has is a very intricate chest piece.
That's absolutely right.
And you can never discount that.
His dedication to tattoos should only be a sign of his dedication to fighting. Both fighters trading with really nice, crisp punches right now.
Vince Meng also has some nice hands.
Wow. Vince Meng going down low to the body with the punches.
Nice knee by Thorne.
Thorne's making it dirty, trying to pull him in close. That's beautiful Muay Thai by Thorne. Wow.
Thorne looks very comfortable in that clinch.
Nice combo by Meng. Both these guys are really impressing me right now with their crispness of their striking.
Yeah, for guys at this level, the entry amateur level, both these guys actually have very nice technical striking.
Absolutely. Important to note for the viewers right now, this is a low-tier amateur fight.
Good shot by Thorne.
Beautiful shot. There are no knees or kicks to the head allowed in this division, as well as no punches to the face of a grounded opponent. Also note the wearing of the shin guards, which Thorne's shin guard is twisted around right now.
Yeah, it is
virtually useless.
It would be nice if the referee could find a place to stop the action and allow to adjust the equipment.
I'm not going to lie, if I was Thorne right now, I would be throwing that right leg kick hard. Good pummeling by both fighters. Both guys jockeying for underhooks, jockeying for turn position.
Nice knee again by Thorne.
Thorne really has impressed me with those knees. That's very impressive. I'm going to say impressive again. Impressive. Wow. Nice jab by Thorne.
Right down the middle.
I'm really noticing.
Oh,
wow.
That was a nice big right hand by Meng.
One of the signs of experience you're seeing right now between both fighters, and Thorne especially, is his ability to come in and enter with a good angle. Head movement, footwork, foot movement. What do you think about that first round, Mike? Who would you give that to?
That's actually a very close round, to be honest. They both did damage. I honestly think I like Thorne in that.
Just because of the knees, probably? Or?
I think the knees. Were very impressive. I think he won the clinch game, though I think Meng might have landed one or two bigger shots. So
yeah, Meng had a really nice straight right down the pipe midway through the round. Yeah, Meng is definitely doing really well for his first time in the cage.
What you'll notice here in the corner is still nobody's adjusted the shin pad of Ryan Thorne. The ref doesn't seem to be noticing it or instructing them to adjust the shin pad, and his corner isn't.
Not gonna lie, if I was in the corner of Ryan Thorne, I wouldn't do that either.
No, I mean,
it's dirty, but it is what it is, and it's happening right now. So.
Stand over there for me.
And you know what? I don't blame him at all. Chances are he just adjusted it himself.
There you go.
Fight, you ready? Are you ready?
Good on him.
Fight.
Round 2 starting between Ryan Thorne and Vince Meng. Very close round here at the first round of our first bout of the evening. Notice the shoulder movement, which leads to the good head movement of Ryan Thorne on his entry. Doing a really good job of shifting his weight foot to foot, hip to hip, and dipping his shoulders, which causes his head to move, making it a more difficult target to land on.
Yeah, I think both guys.
Wow, big
that
right
was a
hand by
nice
Thorne.
by Thorne.
Time. Neutral corner.
Ref's calling a timeout. Let's see what it is. And the tape is coming off of Ryan Thorne's glove. Could pose a bit of a problem, I suppose, if they were to go to the ground and start grappling.
Yeah, there's a lot of tape hanging there, so it's worth it to stop the fight here.
They're just
tuck it back in.
Yeah, it's gauze.
Or it's gauze that came out, yeah.
I mean, I could see if they went to the ground, maybe that could get pinched in the crook of an arm or a knee, and maybe...
It's also just distracting to when he throws a punch, and then there's going to be this little bit of extra fabric flapping around.
Definitely. Start back up. Nice clean break for both fighters.
Good
Beautiful
kick.
lead kick. I'm liking this inside lead leg kick of
Another good
Meng.
kick.
Nice leg kick by Thorne. Vince Meng going for that inside lead leg kick again, hopefully to set up a straight right. But Thorne is dominating this clinch game again.
He really is. He's punching in, he's landing one or two, and then he's kind of keeping him there and doing a little bit of damage.
I mean, one of the things that MMA is judged on, and we always talk about this, is cage control. And it seems as if Thorne is the one right now who's dictating where the fight's taking place. He's putting Meng's back up against the cage, and he's done it in the first, he's done it in the second now, and he's dictating where he's going to be throwing his strikes.
I think he is. Meng is a good kicker, and he's been landing some of these body shots. But
Meng dropped his hands. I don't know what that was about.
he got his head knocked back on that.
Just notice Thorne. Give it a few seconds, and I'll bet Meng's back will be right up against the cage again, giving Thorne a chance to tee off. Nice chin on Thorne, too. Meng threw a nice straight right down the pipe.
These guys are both extremely game.
Wow. Second round in the books. I would have to personally give that one to Thorne just because, like I said, the cage control, the ability to dictate where the fight's taking place.
I agree. It's close. Meng is not out of this fight.
By no means.
If a judge saw it the other way, I wouldn't fault them for it. But I think Thorne was a little more aggressive, landed a little bit more.
Look at Thorne in the corner, man. He looks worked up. Nice, heavy, deep breathing by both fighters. I mean, neither of them look so winded that there's going to be a definitive end in this third round.
No, generally good condition. I think they're going to come out and fight another hard 2 minutes.
We can only hope.
I would think maybe for Meng, getting this fight to the ground might be what he would want to do.
I mean, I would have to say so with the jiu-jitsu and wrestling pedigree we see coming out of Stout Training Pittsburgh. I think that would be probably the best game plan right now to try to get Thorne to the ground here in the third. Both fighters are not entirely tired, but I mean, you might have a better chance to get someone into a submission hold or a lock of some sort.
I will say he seems to enjoy brawling.
Definitely. I mean, both guys have really, I didn't expect them to have the kind of chins they do, but look at the footwork on Thorne. Man, he's light, he's cutting angles.
It is, it's surprising that he's actually 0-3.
Wow. I know. I mean, look, in, out, side to side, head movement, rolling his shoulders. It's every textbook thing that you learn whenever you start boxing or kickboxing that they tell you to do, and that all directly relates to your ability to get in and get out and throw your strikes.
Now Meng is trying to take it to the ground.
There it is, and I think he might have a shot up against that cage. At the very least, right now, Meng's dictating the pace of this fight.
He is.
Thorne's got no real answer, and he's reaching for a topside Kimura.
He is. The chance of him getting the Kimura here, slim.
Meng's jockeying for that top position. He looks like he's got it. He needs to pass that guard right away.
He did take him down there.
This is one of those situations, too, where the shin guards of both fighters really have an effect on the way that they're able to grapple. It would not be as easy to pass from that half guard to side control from Meng right now because of the fact he has a shin guards on and he can't slide his leg.
It's so hard to pass with that shin guard on.
Hey, watch his head.
Also from the bottom, pulling off a submission, trying to get an armbar or triangle when you're wearing shin pads.
It's nearly impossible. Thorne really getting frustrated right now. You can see, I mean, he's got every opportunity in the world to throw these ground strikes, but in the division they're in right now, they're not allowed to punch to the face on the ground. And he almost did it by accident at one point.
No, he's trying for a guillotine here. I don't think he's under, and he just let it go.
Yeah.
He's just trying to stand back up, but honestly, I mean, Meng stole this round with the takedown.
I would 100% agree.
All that happened.
I'd have to give that round to Meng 100%. I mean, what a really great show between both fighters.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Meng obviously won the last round with the takedown, and he's just going to be hoping that one of the judges saw one of the other two rounds for him.
That's what it's going to come down to. I really have to wonder if this is going to be another split decision for Ryan Thorne.
I could only imagine how disappointed he would be if he lost another split decision.
Let's see if we can cross our fingers, maybe get an instant replay out of this. The judges are probably going to take a second to get the decision figured out. There are not going to be an instant replay for this fight right now, but that's all right. We can just think it through. Mike, do you remember when he threw that straight right? Meng hit Thorne?
I remember it like it was only 3 or 4 minutes ago.
It absolutely was. Beautiful takedown by Meng as well.
It was. It's what he needed to do, I think, to give himself a chance to win this fight at the end, points-wise.
Smart fighting.
I think it was sort of proven that neither one of these guys was going to knock the other one out at that point, so he needed that round. He got it. We'll see if any of the judges gave him either the other two.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I could actually see this one going either way. You know, Thorne definitely controlled the fight as far as his pummeling skills, his cage control, and those vicious body knees he was throwing all throughout the fight. That was really some good stuff.
Very close. I really hate to see either of these guys lose this fight because, to me, neither of them feel like losers. They fought really, really hard.
Yeah, I think no matter what happens, both guys should be leaving with their head high. Meng, with his first fight, was very, very impressive for an 0-0 fighter. Even if he does take an L on this one, I would see this as very much a learning experience and an ability to show the gladiators of the cage what he's able to do.
Absolutely.
He landed some. We'll see, man.
I think we might have a decision from the judges. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, to make it official.
Good fight, guys. Both you guys, good fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to these guys. I'm glad I'm not a judge. Our first bout of the evening, and it was a great one. And we have a split decision. Going to the judges' scorecard, one judge scores it 29-28 in favor of Thorne. One judge scores it 29-28 in favor of Meng. And our third judge scores it 29-28 for your winner by split decision, fighting out of the blue corner. No.
Oh, no, don't do that to us, man.
My mistake. Fighting out of the red corner, it's Meng. Let's go to Charlie Smith for our after-fight interview.
The blur corner. The blurred corner. Either way. That was good. Either way.
Let's hear it for what a fight. Vincent is MMA debut.
I can see what they both saw. You know?
You know what? Actually, yeah, because I'm a striker myself. But first off, before we start anything else, I want to say happy birthday to my wife. It's my first fight, and it's the night of her birthday. So we're going to have to celebrate after this. I love you.
if it weren't for that takedown at the end, you're probably right. I think that takedown at the end. I think so too.
In the third round, how much of that do you look to your team and Stouch training, as we talked earlier when we did the pre-fight interview? What a team you have around you every time you guys come to fight.
Yeah, you know, they're the best around here. My coaches, my training partners, my teammates, all of them, they work hard, they bust their asses off, and, you know, that's why we're here. And, you know, like I said, I'm more of a striker, but as soon as it came down to getting on the cage, they told me exactly what I needed to do, and I did it.
Great fight, Vince. We're glad to have you. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Back to you, Grant.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A big win and a 1-0 now for Vince Meng. Highly impressive performance by both fighters. A little bit of a blunder there with Dan Bogan, I'm not going to lie. That was...
That must have just broken Ryan Thorne's heart.
Yeah, that was a little cringeworthy, but it's all right. Coming up next, we've got Damon Teal taking on Charles O'Brien at 170 pounds. But first, a word from our sponsors.
People are working out, living a healthy lifestyle, and eating healthier foods. And there's no better way to kick off the new year than enjoying a mouth-watering Mona Lisa wrap for only $5.99. It's all made with the freshest ingredients and cooked to a healthy perfection. For only $5.99 and under 500 calories, the Mona Lisa wrap is a delicious way to keep your New Year resolution. Muscle Maker Grill. Great food with your health in mind.
Available at Lojack's Yamaha in Tarentum, 724-226-3727.
Coming up next, we've got our second bout of the evening. We've got Damon Teal taking on Charles O'Brien. Let's take a look at our tale of the tape.
Take side, the inspection staging area.
We've got Damon Teal. He's 19 years of age, 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds with an amateur record of 2 wins and 1 loss. He's fighting Charles O'Brien, 26 years of age, 5 feet 6 inches tall, 175 pounds with an amateur record of 5 wins and 1 loss.
Really?
Waiting for our first fighter for this bout to come to the cage. I'd hate to say which one it was, but it is the blue corner. Got Charles O'Brien. His shirt says it all. I do alpha male shit. 26 years of age, 7 years the elder of Damon Teal. He's got an amateur record of what I have listed as 0-1-0. Apparently it's 5-1. Kind of tough with the way the records are written on the internet, and need a little more clarification. But by any means, his last fight was a loss via first-round Kimura versus Sean McSherry.
Sure, they're putting the grease on his face, and he's getting ready to go.
Go ahead and explain to us the importance of that grease, Mike.
Well, the reason you got to grease your face is because of the proliferation of cuts in a combat sport like mixed martial arts. You don't want the leather on the gloves to rip open holes in people's faces as easily as it would without that. So a little bit of Vaseline goes a long way.
Now from the red corner, we need Damon Teal. Damon Teal, cage side inspection area. Damon Teal, red corner.
Here we go, folks. We got Damon Teal coming out from the red corner. He is a Gladiators of the Cage vet. I've seen him and announced him fighting a couple of times now. Damon Teal, young gun, 19 years of age.
I think this will be the third time we've commentated on a Damon Teal fight.
I really think so, and it's you know, I like him. I've talked to him. He's a super nice guy. He's a good guy to be around. Whenever it comes down to cage fighting, you know, there's a lot of guys that are going to come in here and fight, but having a guy that's really easy to work with and nice to talk to really makes all the difference as far as the promoters go and the way that the fights play themselves out.
I think at 19, he's you know, putting together a nice little record here. Shows a lot of poise in the ring, and he's a guy who could develop into a really strong fighter, a really strong pro one day.
Absolutely. Damon Teal's last fight was a decision loss versus John Jaquay in March of this year, but make no mistake, his first two fights were both wins. He has a TKO and a decision on his record. So we know he can finish, and we know he can go the distance and grind it out.
And I remember that fight with John Jaquay was kind of a shootout. Both guys were hitting each other real hard. That was a tough fight.
Absolutely. You know, MMA is not exactly the same as a lot of other combat sports, like we'll say boxing. Having a loss on your record is not the end of the world a lot of the time for guys like this. The more important thing for these low-level amateur fights is that they win, they put on a good performance. That's what the fans want to see. I mean, they make the fans happy.
At this level, it's much more about having a good showing, and it's about getting experience and learning how to be comfortable and what works for you and what doesn't when you're under the pressure of a real fight in a cage.
Absolutely. You know, like I always say, half the guys that get in the cage lose, and that's just the math of it. Unless we're talking about a draw or no contest. But we'll
Way to sit down the strike legally, and if you do throw a strike, it doesn't matter whether
we have the ref giving some little instructions to Damon Teal. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our second event of the evening. Before we get started, I want to apologize to Grant Berger, our senior member of the commentating team. I've left him out the first time. I'm on a roll tonight. Anyway, this is in the Gladiators of the Cage amateur welterweight division, calling for 3 2-minute rounds. First, we'd like to welcome fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 169 pounds. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall, 26 years of age. He's 0-1. He fights for Team Vicious MMA all the way from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It's Mick O'Brien. And his opponent weighed in at 172 pounds. He weighs 5 feet 7 inches. He's 19 years of age. He's got an amateur record of 2-1. He fights for Colleen Martinberg's legendary Evolution Fight Club in Butler, Pennsylvania. He's from Butler. Let's hear it for Damon, the freak of nature, Teal. Your referee, Bill Bookwater.
Dave, you touch him up. You touch him up. All right, touch now if you want. When the bell rings, you're live. All right, good guy. Here you go, man. Right to this corner, please. Dave, step over. All right, fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? Fight!
Here we go. Round one is underway between Damon Teal and Mick O'Brien. I gotta say, one of the things I noticed right off the bat, both of these guys are a little bit shorter than what you'd regularly see at 170 pounds. Both 5 feet 6 inches tall.
They are. Nice takedown by O'Brien.
That means he's got a lot of power. He's a very strong, stout guy at 170. That was a big slam by O'Brien. You're right.
That was a huge takedown.
Right into the guard of Teal. Let's see if he can do anything with it. And
no ground and pound of the head at this level. Teal almost had the sweep.
Teal trying to work an active guard, it looks like, but he's keeping it open. An open guard is good to open up your possibilities. Often an open guard can get the fighter on top to try to make a move that you're able to react to. It's reactionary jiu-jitsu.
Teal looking to open up an angle here for either a sweep or an arm bar. He's moving pretty well underneath.
Absolutely, and like we said earlier, it's really difficult to pass the guard with these shin pads on, and it's really difficult to play your game with the guard as well. Both fighters are kind of dealing with that struggle right now, it seems.
Oh, and from this angle, I can see O'Brien's shin pad is actually ripped open.
Wow.
It is.
Wow, is he going to go for a
Brian
straight ankle lock?
Brian sitting back into a straight ankle lock.
This is an Achilles lock here, folks. Beautiful escape.
Twists out.
Important of note that at this level of amateurs, is second-tier amateur MMA, the twisting ankle locks are not legal, only straight leg locks. So that would be an Achilles lock, which is a lock on the Achilles tendon of the foot, or a knee bar. Nick O'Brien's shin guard is essentially non-existent at this point.
It just fell out. It is lying over by the side of the cage there. And
wow.
Big guillotine finish from Daniel Teal. So the shin pad becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. I was about to say you should start throwing some leg kicks, but Damon Teal really went to work right there. Just a little bit of a careless takedown on the end of Mick O'Brien, and that happens very often. That's one of the most common things you'll see with a guillotine choke is that, you know, somebody will shoot in for a double takedown or maybe try to pass into a top position and just leave their head a little bit too deep in the armpit of the fighter they're going against.
Daniel Teal, I think wearing Goku-inspired Dragon Ball Z shorts.
The fact that you know that means we are not going to be having lunch or having dinner after this whole thing's over. Big win by Damon Teal, though. Wow, that's really impressive. He's going to move on to be 3-1-0 at this point.
I think his power level is over 9,000.
I got to say, another good thing for Damon Teal as far as experience goes, he now has a win via TKO decision, and he's got a submission under his belt.
Very poised there.
So let's take a look at the instant replay if we got a chance. Here we see Teal cinching up that guillotine choke with a half butterfly guard, and he pulls it on a full guard, and he's already got him tapping.
I think he was just deep, and he was in just the right place.
Absolutely, and a submission like a guillotine, it cuts the air supply off. That can happen so fast. There's no time to react. Sometimes you just got to tap. At this point, let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute and 50 seconds of the first round, your winner by guillotine choke, fighting out of the red corner, Damon Teal, the freak of nature. Charlie Smith, take it away.
Damon, let's get you in here. Congratulations. Great fight here tonight. Was that part of your strategy? First round, you guys actually, I heard, called for each other, and you both wanted to fight each other. You've upped your record now to 3-1 MMA. Big question of the night for you. Was you planning on it going to the ground because it's come out strong wrestling?
Not at all. I thought we were going to stand up and have fun, but the first time you took me to the ground, I expected it a second time, so I was ready for it that time.
You slipped in a great guillotine choke, had it in deep, stuck with it, ended up getting the tap. Are you looking forward to your next fight here in Gladiators of the Cage?
It won't be for a while because I'm going to finish school. I'm going to take a year off to finish school, then I'll be back.
Sounds great. Anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
I want to thank Evolution, Big Mama, Colleen, and then I want to thank my friends and family for supporting me, and that's it.
Great job. Let's hear it for the freak of nature. Great victory tonight, Damon Teal.
Oh, right there we have it. Damon Teal moving on to an amateur record of 3 wins, 1 loss. He's got a win of each type under his belt. Very impressive. Coming up next, we've got Lucas Keeler taking on Mark Sistock. But now, a word from our sponsors.
2013 Yamaha Raptor 700R. The most powerful, best performing sport ATV on the planet. Now in 3 great models, all assembled in the U.S. and all ready to launch.
Available at LoJack's Yamaha in Tarentum, 724-226-3727.
Badass Pads, the new reusable motorcycle seat. Badass Pads use pressure-sensitive sticky gel to ensure no scratches, rings, or dents. Badass Pads also feature a gel and memory foam insert for maximum comfort. Application is easy. Simply remove the protective plastic and place on a clean, dry fender or rider seat. When done, replace the plastic and store for the next ride. Get your Badass Pad today. Available in 3 sizes at badasspads.com.
We are back for our 3rd fight of the evening. We've got Lucas Keeler taking on Mark Seastock. Let's take a look at our tail of the tape. We've got Luke Keeler, 29 years of age and even 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds with an amateur MMA record of 0 wins and 0 losses. He's taking on Mark Seastock, 26 years of age, 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds with an unbeaten record of 1 win and 0 losses. Very excited to see this fight. Mark Seastock, a local fighter, coming out of, I believe it's Stout Training as well.
He is a Renzo Gracie guy.
Definitely. Very good grappler. I've had the opportunity to see Seastock fight once before. Very highly hyped fighter, I suppose. Very confident guy.
He was supposed to fight on the card in March, but something happened with his opponent, and it was canceled at the last minute.
Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan.
Luke Keeler from the blue corner, please report to the staging area, inspection area, cage side. Luke Keeler from the blue corner.
There we have it. Dan Bogan calling in Luke Keeler in the blue corner. Luke Keeler, 6 feet tall, 2 inches shorter than his opponent, but I doubt that'll make much of a difference at 185 pounds. Coming out of Ohio, and this is his first fight. And that's something that we don't have a whole lot we can say about it. But as we saw in our first bout of the evening, the fact that it's somebody's first fight really doesn't mean that much. I mean, a lot of guys, everybody has their first fight. We saw Vince Meng have his first fight against a fighter with 3 fights and walked away the victor. So I would love to see an upset here tonight, or at least a very good fight coming out of this guy for his first time.
I mean, every fighter that you've ever heard of, every big-name fighter in any combat sport, at some point they had their first fight.
Absolutely, and I'm sure whoever was commentating or talking about the fight for them probably was saying the same thing we're saying right now. We don't know a lot about the guy. We don't know what he's good at or what he's bad at. I mean, I do know that he's from Ohio, and he got brought all the way out here to Pittsburgh to fight. It's a very good opportunity for him to be in a league such as Gladiators of the Cage.
Yeah, I don't know anything about his team offhand, or what they specialize in.
I hear they do mixed martial arts. That's what I know.
I've heard that they take multiple types of martial arts and then they mix them into a
blend them
hybrid style that people then use for a sport known as cage fighting.
Absolutely. They teach people to get into a cage and they fight each other for our entertainment and for the glory of themselves.
For fame and profit. Though at this level, there's not a lot of either.
I gotta say, Luke Keeler looks very fit, though. I mean, he's a big guy.
He does.
Tall drink of water at 185 pounds.
It's your job to strike legally, and if you throw a strike,
you can't say he doesn't look like he's ready to fight.
No, definitely. He's got one of those angular faces that make guys look just tough, you know? Dan Bogan calling in the second fighter.
Mark Seastock, red corner.
Mark Seastock coming out to Gangsta's Paradise by Julio. One thing I got to say about Mark Seastock that, not always in these fights do we have a lot of experience watching the guys fight, but I had the opportunity to watch Mark Seastock fight at the Gladiators of the Cage event we had at the Cleveland Hard Rock Casino, and Seastock won a decision. It was a split decision versus a guy named Raleigh Abbott, and I have to say he won the fight utilizing his ground game from the bottom. He has one of the most active guards that I've ever seen out of an amateur fighter at this level.
I have yet to see him fight, but I have seen Raleigh Abbott, the Raging Rabbit, fight.
The Raging something, yeah. Sistok, also important to note, is a professional personal trainer. I believe he's got a degree in personal training or some sort of physiology type thing from the University of Pittsburgh. He lives this lifestyle. I mean, it's not like he's one of those guys that just goes and gets in shape and gets into the cage. I mean, he is always in shape, always working hard. And that says something, I think, as far as the mentality of a guy getting into the cage, the fact that he's always ready.
I think he is. Plus, like I said, he was supposed to fight on the St. Patrick's Day card, and his opponent had some sort of issue that prevented the fight at the last minute. So he trained up for that and was disappointed. So now I think he's really ready to go.
Absolutely. Mark Sistok, as I said, 2 inches taller than his opponent. Both of these guys are really big, very similar builds between the two of them. Sistok's got a slightly better tan and haircut, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference because if Luke Keeler's been in the gym not tanning, I mean, that means he's been working out.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next event is in the Gladiators of the Cage Amateur Middleweight Division. Going for 3 2-minute rounds. First introducing, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 184 pounds. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall, 29 years of age, and he's making his amateur debut. He fights out of USA Martial Arts from Toledo, Ohio. It's Luke Lightning Keeler. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 184 pounds. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, 26 years of age, with an undefeated 1-0 amateur record. He fights for Team Renzo Gracie and Stout Training Pittsburgh. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Mark No Chill Sistok. Your referee, Bill Buchholder.
All right, guys. Touch him up. Touch him up. Okay, guys, from the bell
I'm
ring,
excited to see this. I think these guys are going to throw hard, and they are both big, strong, athletic.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, Luke looks very ready. Sistok coming out hard with a lead leg kick to the inside leg of Keeler. A lot of kicks by Sistok early.
Yeah, nice kicks. Good leg kicks there.
Wow.
Keeler coming in with the hands.
Very accurate strikes with Keeler. Sistok shooting from far away.
Shot from way too far out with no setup. I'm surprised he actually got that close with it.
Definitely. A little bit of chain wrestling, though. He could have gone up top, got a hip toss or something like that. But either way, they're here to bang. I mean, Sistok's throwing hard kicks, and Keeler's already connected a good few times with straight punches.
I think Sistok has some swelling or some damage above his right eye already.
Both fighters pummeling Sistok with Keeler's back on the cage. This is that cage control we always talk about. He's dictating where the fight's happening and the pace right now. But Keeler's landing some good knees from that position, and Keeler's going for the guillotine.
And he is actually under the jaw there.
Wow.
But he can't quite, he's not going to be able to crank it from this angle.
And one of the tough things, the decision the fighter has to make, should Keeler pull guard right here with his back against the fence? If he doesn't get the guillotine and he pulls guard, he could put himself into a really bad situation.
And he doesn't want to tire himself out by cranking his arm out here.
Absolutely. Now, what we could call this in wrestling a lot is just a cement mixer. Kind of pulling the fighter's head down and making him carry some weight, wearing him down. Sistok's going hard for that takedown. Got it.
Little cage grab there by Keeler, but didn't really make a difference.
That's his first fight.
You know, it's hard not to sometimes. You're falling and you just reach out for whatever is there.
Absolutely. Keeler's really putting a lot of effort into this guillotine choke.
I don't think this guillotine has any legs here. There's literally no way he's finishing this.
Yeah, and Sistok knows he just holds on for another second. Round one's in the books. I would be hesitant to give that one to either fighter, as we see often in these early amateur fights. I mean, both guys kind of go for broke.
Honestly, Keeler landed a little better, but I mean, it was very limited.
I gave the other corner just
there's definitely a little bit of damage above the eye. Sestock, but
and you know, I would say with the modern MMA the way it is, and with how intelligent the judges are, and how intelligent the viewers of these fights have become, I don't think a takedown such as the one that Sestock did would hold as much weight because of the fact that Keeler was attempting that guillotine choke the whole time. I mean, he had Sestock in danger from the moment that he got him down.
He did, though Sestock was pushing the position and obviously got the takedown. Keeler was attempting a submission the entire time.
Not a big deal.
He made Sestock kind of worried about what he was doing for a few seconds there.
Okay, one step back for me, please. One step. Stay back to the right corner. Stay back. Okay,
Coming
are you ready?
Round 2 between Lucas Keeler and Mark Sestock. Wow, Sestock coming in hard. Trying to get a nice clinch, upper body clinch.
Sestock understands he does not want to be necessarily striking here. He just wants to get this to the ground.
Absolutely.
Watch his spine. Watch his spine.
Sestock's corner advising him to lock the hands for this double leg takedown. I think he needs to drop his level a little bit more.
Keeler unloading on the back with hammer fist there for a second.
Wow. Beautiful takedown by Sestock. Keeler again with this arm-in guillotine position. Not exactly what I would call a submission, but it is a position. And like I said a minute ago, what he's doing really isn't a submission, but he is making Sestock worry about what he's doing. And Sestock is not free reign right now. He's trying to make sure he does not get choked out. And that's something to be said, you know?
Yeah, it looks here like he actually might be under the jaw, but no, it pops out.
He's out. Coach Mike Wilkins is advising Sestock to pass to side control. 1 minute left in the round.
Yeah, I mean, so far with the takedown, Sestock is clearly in charge of this round.
Absolutely. Sestock taking some labored breaths. Those takedowns aren't easy at this weight. I mean, that's a 185-pound guy he's picking up and slamming down numerous times.
Takedowns are very draining. Exceptionally draining, but once you get on top, you can rest and relax sort of here.
Come on, fighter, I need work on top. Let's go, work on top.
The ref seems to be trying to get them to work a little bit more, but I don't know if there's going to be a stand-up there. So little time left in this round.
Absolutely, 10 seconds left in the second round. I would have to, insofar, give this one to Sestock.
A nice armbar attempt here at the end by Keeler. Nice.
Almost turned it into an omoplata there at the end.
He did.
Hey, I saw another cage grab right there.
Definitely would have to give that one to Sestock this second round, just because of the takedowns and the control.
I would give it to Sestock.
You want to know something I point out pretty much every time we have these fights? Whenever Stout Training Pittsburgh has a fighter in the corner, they always face him away from the opponent and in toward the cage. There are regulations on how many coaches you can have in the cage at one time, but they often don't get as tight about that with the guys that are outside of the cage. So right now he is relaxing, not seeing his opponent. He's getting more coaching than it would be capable of if he were facing the other way.
It's a really simple thing to do, and it's a really good idea.
And they always do it. And they churn out some really good fighters. So, I mean, maybe some other guys should take note.
Yeah, I think that actually that's a really simple thing that can make a huge difference, and it just involves telling the guy, face the other way when you sit down.
100%.
One step back for me, bud. One step back. Fighter, are you ready? Are you ready?
Here we go, round 3 coming right up. Lucas Keeler and Mark Sestock. There's a good chance that these rounds are 1-1 for each fighter at this point. Sestock, beautiful opportunity.
Big kick, but he got caught and taken down immediately.
That's exactly what Sestock needed to happen right there. Keeler jockeying for position, trying to get himself into a guard position, possibly a butterfly in the leg. And Sestock passes to mount.
Unfortunately, with no ground and pound to the head, the mount is not as superior position as it would be in a more advanced MMA rules fight.
Absolutely. That's kind of frustrating. I could totally see that being frustrating for a fighter in this what we call the shin guard division.
Sure, you mounted somebody, and now it should be your time to rain down the blows.
I thought he was going to do
nice
the armbar.
I thought he was coming out with the armbar, but Didn't pull the trigger on it.
That was a really good sweep, though, by Keeler. I mean, just not even really that technical, just an instinctive, strength-based sweep.
And I get the feeling, just looking at him and the way it's working, I think Keeler is very strong.
I would have to 100% agree. I also want to point out, though, like I said, I've seen Seastock fight before, and his guard is pretty nasty. I mean, this is not a bad thing for him right now. He's very active.
Keeler is, I think, a very powerful guy.
Definitely. You can see the way his hips are
Now, he did just throw an illegal head punch there.
Keeler did.
Keeler just threw an illegal head punch. It was a little punch.
Oh, that's tough.
Didn't do a lot of damage. It was a little tap, but he just got carried away.
Okay. I don't know why you're doing that.
But I think at very least he's going to lose his dominant position here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's tough.
Mark.
And the ref's not. I don't think the ref is taking a point here. He's not hurt.
I know. I'm going to go see a doctor. He's losing his doc. I need you to.
The ref, I believe,
Greg
does give you
after
5
any
minutes
headshot
to recover,
like that.
and they're going to have
5 minutes.
And I think they're going to have the doctor look at him.
Oh, you're back.
Wow.
Well, talk to the doc about it.
That's something.
Illegal
huh?
strike. Talk to the
Which
doctor.
honestly, that punch wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a little rabbit punch. Yeah.
After any illegal strike,
It was a very, very little punch.
And it happens, you know, you have to put yourself into the situation with the fighter. If you were in the cage right there, it's more of an effort to not hit someone in the face than it is to go ahead and hit him in the face. I mean, you have to be consciously thinking about not doing that because this is combat. I mean, this is fighting, and that's what you're naturally going to do.
Sure. The thing is, when you're in there, every fiber of your being is telling you do everything you possibly can to win this fight. And face punching is just a natural inclination that people have when they're fighting. So to try to restrain yourself from that is harder than actually doing it.
I mean, come on, man. It's a punch to the face. Keeler's looking a little freaked out. I would be too. I mean, it's just an honest mistake. It happens. It's interesting to think, you know what I mean? Maybe 2 fights from now, maybe in a couple months, they'll be in a situation where they can get on top in the same position and just start falling away.
Yeah, after any legal hits.
They're definitely doing stuff to check to see Sestock's vision.
Was it a poke? I mean, am I off kilter here? Was that an eye poke?
I didn't think so.
I've never seen this in depth, but normally they just go and go, yeah, let's finish.
Oh, man.
Hard to say exactly what is happening here.
No swelling, no blood. It's a little balled up fist with a glove on it. Kind of at a loss for words right now. I'm going to just sit and have a moment of silence for what's happening to this fight.
I have no clue what is happening here.
He's saying he got hit in the eye or something like that. So, Doc, are we good? You good? All right, you're starting standing again. He's losing that position, okay?
I believe the ophthalmologist consented to allow the fight to continue.
Another 30 seconds. See if they can do it.
Everything you got. This dude is scared to death.
Seastock with a deep shot.
Got in deep. Keeler just got that underhook and reversed it and is now on top.
Full mount for Keeler. Better be careful with those face punches. Wouldn't want anyone to go blind. Round 3 is in the books. That is the fight, folks. We're going to go to a decision between Lucas Keeler and Mark Seastock. Let's have a minute for the judges to decipher what exactly is happening here. What do you think, Mike? What would you predict in this fight?
Well, I think the last round I do give to Keeler because of the reversal.
Definitely.
And then, the end, he got on top from that takedown. The other 2 rounds were very close, and I see this as a split decision, to be honest.
I could definitely see another split decision, which is, you know, a little bit tough for the fighters, but at the same time, it's exactly what we want for the fans here. I mean, what a good fight. Both guys went out there and went for broke. Really good punching and straight punches by Keeler. Great wrestling and takedowns by Seastock. He had a couple of really big slams.
One thing I would say is Keeler has the raw athleticism to go far in this sport.
Let's take a look at our instant replay, Mike, see what we can't figure out about this fight.
Just make sure you brush up. No big deal. I'm at it. That's what amateurs do.
I think we're going to see the head punch here.
Here we see Keeler in the guard of Seastock. Small punch behind the ear. Wasn't exactly hard on the right side of Seastock's back of his head.
I don't understand the vision tests based on that. It hit him nowhere near the eye, and it wasn't that hard.
Well, by any means, both guys got in the cage and fought tonight, and that's more than a lot of us could say at this moment.
Send him out. Come on.
Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Let's hear from all these fighters, ladies and gentlemen. We have a unanimous decision. 2 judges scored it 29-28. 1 scored it 30-27. For your winner, fighting out of the blue corner, Luke Lightning Keeler.
Oh, man.
Let me get you in here. Great fight here. Maybe a little bit of confusion there. Exactly what happened. The ref stopped it there for a couple minutes. Was that a headbutt possibly that come across?
No, I accidentally hit him in the head when I hit him on the ground. It was my fault.
Okay. Really good fight. Was that part of your strategy as far as standing up? It looked like Mark wanted to take it to the ground and implement some of those Renzo Gracie jiu-jitsu skills, but you really did a good job of stalemating those efforts and really working a good game plan on your feet also.
Absolutely. I wanted to keep it up the whole time, but you know, he had decent striking, so I had to improvise and did what I had to do.
Great work. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
USA Martial Arts, Brandon and Larry for coming out, all my family, my girlfriend, and that's it.
Great job. Let's give him one big hand for his MMA debut. First victory at Gladiators of the Cage.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Lucas Keeler pulling out the unanimous decision victory. What a good fight. Keeler moving on to a 1-0 record, undefeated as an amateur. Coming up next, we've got Jeremy Sakuda taking on Sean McSherry. But first, a word from our sponsors.
American Pharaoh, our first Triple Crown winner in 37 years.
The inaugural season, this is it. You know, this is, we're building it from the ground up, and this is literally the birthplace of the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds.
Today is when the job became real, that this is actually happening. So to see everything put together, the last couple months of work, really rewarding. And I can't wait to see what happens after this.
Where you gonna go when the night gets cold? When the stars are black and the ground is cold.
Available at LoJack's Yamaha in Tarentum, 724-226-3727.
Well, we've been in business for 14 years now. Built it from the ground up. We're a family-owned store. We're open 7 days a week. Our prices compared to our competitors were right in line, if not actually cheaper. We got a little bit of everything.
Here, if a person's not sure, they can ask one of us, and we're happy to help them out.
Tough TV also.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready for our fourth bout of the evening. This is another, what we'll call shin guard amateur fight. We've got Sean McSherry about to take on Jeremy Sakuda. Let's have a look at our tail of the tape. We've got Jeremy Sakuda. He is 36 years of age, 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at even 185 pounds with an amateur record of 1 win, 4 losses. He's taking on Sean McSherry, 41 years of age, 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds with an amateur record of 1 win, 0 losses. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, to call in the fighters.
We're ready for our first fight to take place. First in the blue corner, Sean Patrick McSherry to the cage side. Sean Patrick McSherry to the inspection area cage side, please.
Sean McSherry getting ready to approach the cage. In the blue corner, McSherry's 41 years of age, which is interesting, actually. I've heard that he's got a pretty high pedigree of grappling, taking on 36-year-old Sakuda. A couple of older gentlemen going to be getting in the cage tonight.
He's a well-ripened 41.
I was going to say, man, he's in good shape. Look at that guy.
And I think this fight's at 170. Both men are 170 pounds,
yeah,
not 85.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part, and I apologize to the viewers and listeners right now. Take a look at McSherry's ears. They show the sign of a well-worn grappler and wrestler. What we call cauliflower ear. It's scarification, scar tissue that builds up in the ears from repeated blows, often from the forehead of a wrestling opponent.
Well, his only previous fight was a win first round via Kimura submission over Charlie O'Brien, who fought earlier tonight.
That's correct. And, you know, one of the things I notice right off the bat whenever I see that he has a first-round submission win, normally whenever you see that, that's a choke hold. You know, they get him in a choke, they catch it quick, and they put him out. You got to be a strong guy and a good grappler to get someone in the first round with a Kimura. I mean, that's a technical move, and that's something that's very difficult to put on a fresh opponent. McSherry looks jacked. Look at that guy.
He is in good shape.
From
Wow.
the red corner, Jeremy Sakuda. Jeremy Sakuda, red corner to the cage, please.
Coming out, we got Jeremy Sakuda, well-seen fighter here at Gladiators of the Cage. Had the opportunity to call a few of his fights.
I would call Jeremy Sakuda one of the hardest luck fighters in the area.
Absolutely. I mean, he's had, 1 win and 3 losses, but all 3 of his losses were really either extremely tough opponents or, really bad, like not bad, but really tough decisions, hard-fought fights.
He has just fought hard fights against the wrong guys, and he's gotten, in my opinion, some bad decisions.
I'd like to point out, too, Jeremy Sakuda walking out with a Gladiators of the Cage pro fighter, Dan Sakuda. Similar names, not the same family. However, Dan Sakuda has defeated Jeremy Sakuda in the past.
Say that again 3 times fast.
Dan Sakuda defeated Jeremy Sakuda 3 times fast.
The Sakuda connection.
Absolutely. Sakuda, a very well-rounded Muay Thai fighter as well. I'd like to see that possibly they've been training together. Sakuda is a phenomenal grappler, but he loves to go in and just bang. He loves throwing punches, loves getting in there and brawling, and he's got a chin like a cinder block.
He is one of the strongest, biggest 170-pounders that I've ever met, to be honest. And I rolled with him, and I was very impressed with his level of jiu-jitsu. Very strong, good base. But in fights, he doesn't use the jiu-jitsu as much. He likes to throw hard and heavy and just go to war.
Absolutely. His last fight was last year against David Shim. Him and David Shim stood in front of each other and punched each other in the faces as hard as they could for 3 straight rounds. Shim took the split decision, but a lot of people in the arena that night thought it could have gone either way. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next contest is in the Gladiators of the Cage amateur middleweight division, calling for 3 2-minute rounds. First introducing out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 170 pounds. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, 41 years of age with a 1-0 amateur record. He fights for Rough House Fight Factory from Levittown, Pennsylvania, Sean Patrick McSherry. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 171 pounds. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, 36 years of age with a 1-4 amateur record. He fights for 3 elements. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Girard, Pennsylvania, Jeremy Sakuda. Your referee, Bill Bookwalter.
All right. Guys, you want to touch up? If you want to touch, do this now. Okay, touch now. When the bell rings, you're live. Okay, there we go. Back to your corner here, sir. To the blue. Okay, back to the... Fight, are you ready? Are you ready? Fight!
Round 1 is underway. Jeremy Sakuda taking on Sean McSherry.
Nice jab initially from Sakuda there.
Wow, Sakuda's landing.
Sakuda's using his range here.
I think Sakuda's key to victory right now is going to be to stay away from the wrestling and the grappling of McSherry.
I think McSherry wants nothing more than to just close this distance and get this on the ground as fast as possible.
Shooting low. Sakuda doing a good job staying away from the takedown. Good jabs by Sakuda as well.
Sakuda is just lighting him up on the way in.
And he's got a nice double underhook to defend this takedown. It could be to no avail, but I think Sakuda has a good shot of defending this.
Yeah,
with that underhook. There you go.
I think something that McSherry is finding out here is Sakuda is hard to overpower.
I mean, he's big. He's 6'2" at 170 pounds, and he's not skinny.
No, he has a large upper body, and he's very strong.
Sakuda's landing those punches, too. I mean, I think he might be overwhelming McSherry with those hands a little bit already.
I think there's a trickle of blood there coming from
McSherry doesn't want
yeah,
anything to do with this.
he's opened up already.
He wants nothing to do with this.
No, his striking is not on the level of Sakuda's.
Wow, Jeremy Sakuda, very impressive. My goodness. He needs to figure out a way to stand back up.
Honestly, if I was Sakuda here, I'd just stand up out of this.
Stay away from that. McSherry's trying to lace that leg and get him all the way down to the ground. Sakuda's doing a good job right now of not getting to the ground. Look at the blood coming from McSherry's face.
I think his nose might be broken.
I mean, you could see he was being a little timid with getting punched there a few seconds before he got onto those legs.
There is a lot of blood. It is. Wow.
Time. I got
Sakuda's just about
I think
there's
time. Injury
look at
time.
this.
Doc, I gotta make sure your nose isn't broken, dude.
And rightfully so.
I mean, that's a lot of blood. There is something to be said about that. Some people's noses bleed when you look at them wrong. I mean, I'm not sure if McSherry's one of those guys.
I'm not sure if it's all nose blood or if there's a cut on his forehead.
I just had to make sure he's pouring all over the place. I didn't stop that.
No, I don't think there's a cut on the
forehead.
forehead.
There's a small cut on the forehead above his left eyebrow. On the left side of his forehead.
I wasn't sure if that was a cut or that was splatter.
I think it's his nose, man. I think they might have broke his nose.
Mostly nose.
This is neutral. His corner's over there.
You could almost see whenever Sakuda landed a couple of those combos, he was kind of, you could see him flinch a little bit.
Yeah. We
protect his face a little more.
Can we get blood in here?
Doc,
he's good?
I don't think McSherry has the striking capabilities that he needs.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
To get in
not
on
safe.
Sakuda.
I think right now Jeremy Sakuda needs to go out there and
It's not safe for me to restart him like that.
Yeah, Sakuda smells blood.
I mean,
literally, because the ring is covered in blood.
It's my time now. My time.
Kind of a metallic smell.
I don't want you guys slipping in that. I'm going to start you guys standing again. I just had to make sure his nose wasn't broken. He was like pouring.
Good call from the referee. Having some of that blood cleaned up, that can get slippery.
It can get really slippery.
Let's take a look at the instant replay of one of those shots if we can get a second here. I don't want to cut into the fight, but we see McSherry here. He got a little bit of a takedown. He's really jockeying to try to get a hold of the left leg of Sakuda. He even at one point laces the leg with his own leg.
All right, I'm good.
But Sakuda's not having it, man. He's just kind of keeping his hips far enough away from him, keeping himself in a good position, and working on that kidney.
Too strong.
I'm comfortable with letting him go between now.
If you're going to take down Jeremy Sakuda, you're going to have to push your way in deeper, and the only way to do that is to use some striking to get in.
We are back.
Sakuda pumping that jab.
Doing what he needs to do, man. He's already made McSherry afraid of his hands, and that's half the battle. If he can get McSherry worried enough about getting hit in the face that McSherry doesn't want to push his way in, I mean, that's what he wants to do. That's part of the game.
I think McSherry is extremely gun-shy right now. He wants nothing to do with Sakuda's fists. And I think Sakuda, honestly, especially given that break to clean up the blood, Sakuda's going to come out fresh, and I suspect that there's a very good chance this fight isn't going past the second round. To be honest.
You know, and we saw in Sakuda's last fight versus David Shim, he was throwing punches harder in the third round than he was in the first. He does not get tired. I mean, he hits like a freight train. And he's got Dan Sakuda giving him some corners right now. I mean, I'm not sure if they've been training together, but Sakuda, his striking is tight.
Yeah, I think that this second round is a very good chance of looking like the first unless McSherry has figured out how to get inside and actually get this takedown.
Which, let's not put that out. I mean, that's a possibility as well.
Okay. Well, my time till they're cleaned up. We're going to wait till they're cleaned up. I don't want you guys slipping and sliding in that. Guys, no, come on back in. Hey, send him.
Still waiting for a little bit of the blood to get cleaned up before we start this second round.
There's a couple spots
The
over
thing
there.
with blood being spilled on the mats, it's not like water. Blood is almost kind of like a viscous.
It's oily.
It's like oil. Yeah, it's slick, and it takes a while to dry. I think they're making a good call.
Almost greasy, honestly.
I mean, can you tell? I'm not sure. McSherry looks like the bleeding has kind of stopped, which is good.
I think they did a good job of controlling it.
Definitely. Yeah, you can see his face. I mean, he looks fine. He doesn't have any real serious damage to his face. I think he just might have had a leaky nose.
No, that's going to hurt tomorrow.
Guys, I'm pretty
I know that.
100%.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.
Both fighters looking actually pretty fresh.
Well, I mean, they came in both looking like they're in great shape.
Round 2 coming underway. Jeremy Sakuda, Sean McSherry. Sakuda's just popping that jab. I mean, really finding a home for that left hand.
He so outranges McSherry. Nice leg kick by Sakuda.
And McSherry's being real hesitant about getting within a striking distance or a wrestling distance right now. I would look for McSherry to shoot a real far takedown.
And McSherry kind of drops his hands when he throws, and Sakuda's just lighting him up.
Sakuda's not afraid to get hit.
No.
I mean, that's one thing we know about the guy.
He's not afraid to get hit, and something McSherry is doing here is he's throwing his punches at a range where he can't possibly hit Sakuda, and Sakuda's countering at a range where he's going to hit McSherry every single time.
Here's the thing about being a shorter fighter in a situation like this. In order to do any damage with your hands, you have to be what I call uncomfortably close. If you're not close enough that you're worried about getting hit yourself, you're not going to be able to hit your opponent.
He's going to have to rush Sakuda, get inside close, and that's where he could possibly do damage.
I mean, that's a technique, man. He should just put his hands up, rush Sakuda, try to get his back on the cage and get a hold of a double or a single.
Slow the fight down, grind.
Sakuda is just fresh, he's hitting pads right now.
Basically, this is target practice. I mean,
and I have to commend Sakuda as well. He's not swarming him. He's not rushing him. He's not getting lackadaisical with his punches. He's being very smart and selective about what he's throwing right now.
Yeah, Sherry not showing great footwork for stand-up. Kind of flat-footed, not a lot of movement, sort of stationary target, and Sakuda's just popping him over and over again.
To quote Mike Tyson, everyone has a game plan until they get punched in the face.
Or until they get punched in the face 75 or 80 times, which is the case here.
That was a clear-cut winner there on the second round by Sakuda.
Come on back.
Really dominant performance right now.
Hey, Phil, big man, you all right?
Yeah, unless something changes drastically in the third round, this fight seems to be headed in a pretty obvious direction.
I will say, though, that's one of the beautiful things about mixed martial arts that you don't see in a lot of other combat sports. Things could change drastically. It happens. I mean, McSherry could come out there, Sakuda could make a mistake, McSherry could get on top, and he could pull a sub out in that last 2-minute round. It's happened 100 times.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen it happen.
McSherry choosing not to sit in between rounds. A testament to likely his cardiovascular training.
How long, you know? I'm already on. Little good. That's right here, bud. Thank you.
A lot of blood getting cleaned up right now.
McSherry's corner man, very, very cool. So cool he's wearing sunglasses
All right,
at
guys,
night
I'm pretty good with that.
inside.
His future is very bright. Round 3 coming underway.
To quote Tim Buck 3, his future is so bright, you've got to wear shades.
Sean McSherry, Jeremy Sakuda. Sakuda once again throwing that jab. looking a lot more active with his punches here coming into the third round.
Shot by McSherry, but that's not deep enough. And
Sakuda needs to push that head.
Sakuta's just pretty much sprawled out of that easily.
Good job tying up the left leg of McSherry as well.
Using his long arms there.
Really long arms. A lot of guys wouldn't be able to do that.
No.
As we said before, I mean, Sakuta's a phenomenal grappler. He could have an upper hand here. He's about to take the back.
He is a much better grappler than anyone would give him credit for, to be honest. But that was a very smart decision.
Definitely a smart decision.
Why even consider engaging in the only place where your opponent could beat you? You know you're owning him on the feet.
Wow.
Just stand up and hit him more.
1 minute left in this third round. Let's see if Sakuta's going to start to
McSherry almost had that, but Sakuta's squirming and wiggling out of it, and I think he might be able to take his back from here.
I think he can.
Still down.
45 seconds left. I mean, what else does he have to lose? I don't know if McSherry's going to be able to pull a submission off with Sakuda having his back.
It would take a jiu-jitsu miracle. McSherry finally, with 21 seconds left, has gotten what he wanted the entire fight.
I'm not going to lie, McSherry's not in a bad position right now. I mean, he's got a lot of opportunities. He's got about 13 seconds to do something, but if he had a little more time, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd be able to work something through.
10 seconds, it's just not possible.
Even on his back, Sakuda's still knee into the body. That's a beautiful thing. That is what I would say a landmark performance there by Jeremy Sakuda. He's had a lot of tough times, a lot of tough fights, and I think he just really shined this last fight against McSherry.
Yeah, I think he deserved it after, honestly, the kinds of fights he's been through.
Oh, definitely. I mean, what an I wouldn't say it's much of an improvement, but what a just crisp performance, you know? It's not about being the best fighter, it's being the best fighter on the night of your fight, and he just proved that he really had the right mentality, the right game plan, the right training.
And, you know, I'm going to give some credit here to McSherry because he took a hard beating and never quit.
Oh, that
never
first
wanted
round was
to quit.
something.
I mean, he had an out right there when he was bleeding. If he told the doctor he doesn't like this, he was done with that fight.
Oh, absolutely, and that's not an uncommon thing in these first few fights. Let's take a look and see if we can get an instant replay of some of the action we just saw.
I was worried for him.
Brought to you by Cut and Run Productions.
There's that jab.
Wow, big
sort of hooking, looping, half jab, half hook there.
I love Sakuda's distance in this fight. His range was dead on. Just far enough away to not get taken down, but just close enough to use his long limbs to really land some good strikes.
Very, very well executed by Sakuda.
Yeah, let's not take anything away from McSherry. He took a lot of shots to the face, and I'd like to think he proved something to himself here tonight.
It is tough.
Yeah, kudos to both of the fighters. I mean, very tough guys.
I'm going to read your decision here. You're right. That's good. Come on, bud.
I think we have a judge's decision. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. All three judges have scored this fight 30-27 for your winner. Fighting out of the red corner, Jeremy Sakuda.
Jeremy, excellent job tonight against a really game opponent. You really put your A game out there. I think tonight we just seen the best display of striking, calculated and precise. Was that your game plan going into this, Jeremy?
Yeah, I like to stand and bang. So if I can keep it on the feet and make someone trade with me, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, you did an excellent job of that, keeping your range, and definitely kind of dictated the whole pace of the fight. It's great to see you back on the winning track. Anyone you'd like to thank here tonight?
I thank everybody that came out to support me. I want to thank my team for helping me get ready for this. I want to thank Sean. Everybody give him a hand. I hit him with everything he had, and I couldn't put him down. So, good fight, Sean.
Let's hear it. One more big round of applause for Jeremy and a great game opponent. Back to you, Grant.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, another quick reminder, the Pennsylvania Hero Walk have donated the beer this evening.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful performance by Jeremy Sakuda. He's going to have a nice sleep tonight. We are going to send it over to a 10-minute intermission, give everybody a chance to go refill their drinks and leak their bladders. But I want you all to know that during the intermission, we're going to show a documentary put together by Cut and Run Studios. It's MMA, an inside look. Keep tuned, stay tuned, keep your eyes on the screen. We will see you very soon.
MMA is an acronym for Mixed Martial Arts. Mixed Martial Arts is basically the competition that's put together that involves all the genres of fighting.
I mean, I love it all, just the whole pure form of fighting, you know? I mean, you got everything and you got to use everything you got, nothing better.
Because there are a lot more tools that you can use at your disposal compared to like just boxing. So it really requires you to be very well-rounded, kind of like a Swiss Army knife.
I like the fact that you get to figure out who you are on the inside. You know, like when you're in the cage and everything's all on you.
Dom landing a lead jab, but he's exposing himself every time to that overhand right. Oh, good high kick, blocked. Well, Dom looks rocked a little bit. He's pressing, he's got clipped again with a big left hook, flying knee to the body. Dom's in trouble, Figueroa's pushing the action.
It's my life. It's my dream, it's my passion, but most importantly, it's who I am as a person.
There's no better feeling than getting your arm raised when you're in there. And, you know, you're in there, you're creating, Cup Swanson said it best, beautiful destruction. So, I mean, it's an art when you're in there.
I think a lot of fighters, they kind of have this feeling like they want to go and rip a guy's head off. That's not really that way for me. It's like when I do it, you know, I'm pretty much calm, I'm relaxed, I'm laid back. A lot of times I'll be sleeping before the fight.
Sakuda, though, again, staying calm and relaxed, that shows you the experience that he has. He's just, look at it, just smooth, moving his head back and forth. Oh, and he hits him with the left.
It's self-expression. First and foremost, before being a fighter or anything else I do, I'm an artist. And I like the ability to be able to defend myself, defend my loved ones, my kids, you know.
I just like competing. I mean, I'm a competitor. I mean, I can't play checkers without getting all fired up about it. Like, I just love competing and trying to prove to myself that I deserve to be there and I belong there.
Dempsey taking the back of Krause, trying to sink the choke. Krause is fighting. Dempsey is landing every shot he wants to win, and it is over. It is all over. Chris Dempsey retains the Lightest Middleweight Championship.
There's violence in almost every sport you see. Mixed martial art has a game plan. It has a playbook. It's like any other sport. You plan for an offensive side, you plan for a defensive side. They have coaching. They have more than one coach. They have a boxing coach. They have a jiu-jitsu coach. They have a wrestling coach. They study their opponent. They look for his weaknesses. They look for predicting things that he may do.
This is very strategic. You're watching what that person's doing, how they're moving. You're studying them. Even before the fight, you're watching YouTube videos.
Here comes a chess match. One guy's trying to do a submission. The other guy's trying to counter it and trying to put his own submission on.
Just like any other sport, just like basketball, just like football, it's a sport, you know? It's you don't hate the other person. Maybe for 9 minutes you might hate them.
Guys, I fought for the most part. We've met each other, we've shaken hands before. We fought each other, shaking hands afterwards, we've become friends after.
I watch the tape. I do as much research as I can to learn their strengths, their weaknesses. You know, a lot of women are born fighters just as men, and they don't have a lot of people to look up to. You look at Rousey, I think she's paved the way for us, even Gina Carano. And I think that women are very technical, and they could come into this sport just as excited and exciting to watch as men.
I'd love to think what would it be like if these were 5-minute rounds instead of the amateur rounds. Can Driver do it? She is really throwing that punishment. My goodness.
Trying to take this to the round.
Pulls guard. I love that.
She must be very confident in her submission abilities, as she should be, because the armbar is locked in, and there's
over. She's going the wrong way. She needs to go the opposite way and step over the body.
I got to tell you, Charlie, that angle, that arm is bent at a bad angle right now.
She tapped.
Christy Moore.
It's rough. It can be rough because, as I said before, I put everything into what I do. I believe in thoroughly and fully applying myself. I try to set that example for my children.
My wife, she actually loves it. She's my biggest fan. My wife, Missy, and my kid. I mean, it takes away from my kid now because he's at home right now. I'm up here training, but I know it's sacrifice and it'll give him a better life one day. So I know that I just got to push hard and focus, you know. So with my personal life in MMA, I know it makes me work harder and make me a better person.
It's hard. I sacrifice a lot. I sacrifice relationships and jobs and everything. Being around my son and my family.
It is rough. I have a wife and I have a soon-to-be 2-year-old, so there's a lot of time management that goes into it, making sure that you're staying on your diet and you're training hard when you have the available time so that you can have time to spend with your wife and daughter.
Not really, because it's either I'm with my daughters or I'm at the gym, so that's good for me. That is my personal life, the gym and my daughters. I wouldn't want it any other way.
I mean, I have a lot of friends that help me through, my family helped me through, my girlfriend. I mean, there's so many people that you can't really thank everybody because everyone has a hand in it, no matter how big or small it is. So.
Huge Muay Thai knees there, huge.
Oh my goodness!
That was
it is over.
Vicious.
Kakuta got the.
It's got that tight. It's not under the jaw, but it's tight
over.
enough.
It is over. Francis Healy wins via rear naked choke in the second round.
Charge in. Shim throws that front kick and big left hand. Hammer fist.
Wow.
Oh, it's over.
What a finish by David.
Well, he's increasing the pressure on that triangle there. Wow. I mean,
that is not a good feeling, I can imagine.
It's not really something I've ever seen before, but I imagine it's something that doesn't feel nice. And he's almost got an armbar here.
Wow.
And he does. Wow.
What's up? Guys, in my research on... Lozada's out. Wrestling and their incredible work ethic. Wow. That's one way to get the fight to the ground. That is one way to get the fight.
I have several fighters that are involved within my organization that come from troubled youth. MMA becomes an extended family to them. They have a purpose now. They come in and they learn the discipline of the mixed martial arts. They learn the discipline of training day in and day out. They learn the discipline of competition. A lot of these coaches become role models to them, become second fathers or second mothers to the fighter. So, and it's somebody they respect.
When I was young, I was just in the streets, hanging with the wrong people, fight. This stupid stuff that everybody does. And, without MMA, who knows where I'd be right now. And I've met a lot of good people. Like everybody up here, I would have never knew anybody up here. And so it's helped out a lot in my life.
On the back of Penny Saver, so I'll try mixed martial arts, 30-day free trial. Gave it a shot, and 2 months later, I was fighting my very first fight.
I used to be real heavy. I used to be 265 pounds. And about 3 years ago, I realized I needed to get in shape and came down here and, just to get in shape. Never thought I'd be fighting or anything. And then, one thing led to another. And to me, it's a place to escape the everyday life, and coming here and just, I guess it's in a way kind of spiritual, it's a way to relax and get to know yourself.
Just MMA to me is life, everything. It teaches you discipline and, how to look at cutting weight. It teaches you how to, be mentally tough. And
it could help a lot of people with no direction. It's given me direction throughout my life. And with the scene exploding here, I feel like that there's a lot of people that could be helped through training and the discipline and then even fighting. So to me, I feel like it's a great base for life.
It's become such a large sport that now gyms are offering classes, and if you don't want to compete, that's fine. However, you can still come and train as one. These people are now doing mixed martial arts like they would going to the YMCA and taking a yoga class. So that's what people are getting out of it now, and they're starting to use it as a form of exercise.
The average person thinking, that's not what I want to do. I don't know. I'd be scared to step in that situation. And people don't even pick up the phone to call, you know. And I can tell you right now, that is not the way we train. I mean, by now I'd be eating soup for the rest of my life if that was the way I trained.
And people just seem to like the explosiveness of it. I mean, 1 minute they can, you know, 2 fighters can be standing up, next minute somebody can be knocked out. And it spawns so many smaller productions and promotions. You know, it involves every country in the world.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, at Gladiators of the Cage 17 at the Family Sports Arena in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm Grant Berger, and with me tonight is Mike Willis. We are commentating your viewing experience. We are coming on to our 5th fight of the evening. These are amateur title fights. We are going to have Dalton Brady taking on Jason Alexander. Let's have a look at that tail of the tape. We've got Dalton Brady, 20 years of age, 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds with an unbeaten amateur record of 4 wins and 0 losses. Taking on Jason Alexander, no, not that Jason Alexander, 27 years of age, 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 135 pounds with another unbeaten record of 4 wins and 0 losses. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, to call in the fighters.
Dalton Brady, blue corner, come to the inspection ring, cage side, please.
Wow, Dalton Brady coming out to some soul. I'd like to just take this time to slow it down for y'all. Get the vibe right.
I'm not sure what this is. Is this the band in Desperado? No.
I genuinely don't know. I think this is in Titanic when the boat is like just about to go all the way down.
Maybe I'm.
Oh, here we go. Oh, it's picking up. Dalton Brady knows just what he wants.
This is sort of like some Chariots of Fire stuff.
I like it. I'm not going to lie. I like what's happening.
I'm a fan.
At least it's not like new metal or something. You know?
It is not the bodies hitting the floor.
Dalton Brady coming out in his gi, jiu-jitsu gi, showing off his proud purple belt. Coming out of Team Ascension from Ontario, Canada. You know, we've had a good few Team Ascension fighters come and fight at Gladiators of the Cage. Always good performances. Dalton Brady's only 20 years of age. It's impressive that he's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu at 20 years of age and has an unbeaten 4-0 MMA record. His last fight was a win via second-round triangle choke in December of last year.
It is, and both these guys are coming out with equal 4-0 records. And as they say, the O must go.
You did it. You got it funny. Dalton Brady has on his record TKO, a submission, and a decision leading up to this. So he can win in every way possible. sure. I think the music is starting over.
I think it
It's
restarted,
looping.
yes.
Oh,
I think
okay.
the music is looping, is what we're experiencing here.
I was concerned there for a minute. He called Jason Alexander out.
And he came out to the exact same song. I will be honest, that would be a great strategy.
That would be.
To just tell them, whatever my opponent comes out to, play it again.
Wow.
I'm taking his song.
You know, really evenly matched opponents here tonight.
On paper, they're the same man.
Basically, I mean, 27 years of age is Jason Alexander, but that's not exactly that big of a concern, I would think. Age doesn't matter that much whenever you're in this kind of a fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that's a huge difference.
Judging by the fact that Dalton came out with his purple belt on, look for him to possibly do some good jiu-jitsu here tonight. Try to get a good submission in, maybe some ground control. Nice heavy jump. Heavy man there, Dalton Brady.
From the red corner, we need Jason Alexander. Jason Alexander.
Red corner, Jason Alexander making his way to the cage.
Notable for playing George Costanza on TV's hit Seinfeld.
Absolutely. Must have lost a fair amount of weight to make weight tonight.
You know, unlike a lot of celebrities, he looks completely different in person.
So here we have two good camps coming out. We have Team Ascension fighter and Dalton Brady fighting Jason Alexander from the Mat Factory. The Mat Factory being, of course, a highly touted gym in the Pittsburgh area.
Chris Dempsey, current UFC fighter, fights out of the Mat Factory, as well as Dom Mazzata, who is potential UFC fighter of the future.
Dom Mazzata holds a belt in Gladiators of the Cage in, I believe, the 145 weight class.
135, I think.
Well, thanks for correcting me, Dad.
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Very excited to see what's going to happen with these two unbeaten fighters. It's almost like watching somebody go to the guillotine, you know, because you know one of these guys is going to lose their undefeated record. There's no way of getting around that.
One thing I would say, just looking at him right now, is I think Jason Alexander looks a little bigger.
Oh, 100%.
Little bigger, a little more muscular.
Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
I don't know if you get a man that I'm tipping this drink, got me saying a lot, but I know that God put you in front of me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next event is in the Gladiators of the Cage Advanced Amateur Division, which calls for three 3-minute rounds, and it is for the Gladiators of the Cage Vacant Amateur Bantamweight Championship of the World. First fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 135 pounds. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, 20 years of age, with a perfect amateur record of 4-0. He fights for Team Ascension. He's from Welland, Ontario, Canada. Dalton, the Donkey Brady! And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, weighed in at 135 pounds. He's 5 feet 6, 27 years of age with a 74-inch reach. He also has a perfect amateur record of 4-0. He fights for 3 Elements Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Jason Alexander. Your referee, Bill Buchwalter.
We'll do it for the last fight. Come on in. If you touch now if you guys want. When the bell rings, you're live. Okay, here we go. Back to your corner, bud. Okay, fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? Fight!
First round underway. Dalton Brady and Jason Alexander, 2 undefeated warriors. Alexander pushing the pace right off the bat, but Brady is game.
Wow, both guys are going at it like 2 hornets.
Wow.
It is such a change to go from guys who are 185 down to this weight. The speed difference is amazing.
Wow, big takedown right into side control by Jason Alexander. Brady laced the leg, a little bit of half guard action, and all the way to
back
full guard.
full guard again.
Very good jiu-jitsu, as we know he's a purple belt.
Really nice. He's trying to pull his legs up higher and higher.
Active guard.
That makes it much easier to get a submission the higher you get your knees towards the guy's head.
You can just see Brady just keeps resetting his legs, getting position, or getting a position
What's
for his legs.
interesting here is Jason Alexander has a bicep choke, but he is on top of guard, and you cannot finish this from this position.
You're not supposed to be able to finish it.
And you're not finishing it on a real purple ball. And there's an arm bar.
Oh! Big slam
out.
and a beautiful escape by Alexander. That arm started to bend funny there for a second.
It was close. Yeah, you're not finishing that on a legit purple belt.
Oh, no way.
That's not happening.
Not unless it's the third round and you already broke his jaw.
Nice up kicks there, letting himself stand up.
Important note, this is the Tier 1 amateur MMA, so both fighters are allowed to punch to the face on the ground.
And the rounds will be 3 minutes in length.
I gotta say, Jason Alexander's doing a really good job controlling where the fight's happening. He's pushed Dalton up against the cage a good few times here in the first round.
And I think it's because he's a bigger, stronger man.
I could see that. The musculature is significant on Alexander in comparison to his opponent. Tough guys. I mean, Dalton Brady right now is eating a few shots, and he's just shaking it off. It's
He is going to the armbar again here, and close.
Very active on the bottom. I mean, if he can get the hands to break of Jason Alexander, he could have a real good shot of finishing this.
Yeah, I mean,
there
he's
it
on
is.
it.
He's on it.
He's
Can he hold
close.
on?
He's just slipped out.
Oh, wow.
You should switch to triangle right here. No, back to the armbar again.
The important thing about an armbar in this scenario is the fulcrum. The thighs of Brady are a fulcrum, and if Alexander pulls his arm too far out,
Dalton Brady back on top now after a little scramble. Some elbows to the body.
Nice heel hits, heel strikes to the kidney there of Dalton Brady.
Good clubbing hammer.
Time. I gotta say, it is a refreshing change of pace to see a little bit of ground and pound happening. To see someone get hit in the face on the ground and not need a doctor to check their eyesight. That's right, I said it.
Hey, I mean, it's the truth. Dalton Brady not using a stool, just sitting on the ground here.
I like his style. That's it's a common practice in Canadian mixed martial arts. A guy like that's so comfortable on the ground, on the mat. I mean, maybe he just wants to be where he's comfortable in between rounds.
That was a very good first round. Both these guys, high level of skill.
Absolutely. I mean, would you think that you could say who won that first round?
It's hard because I want to favor Dalton Brady because I like the submission attempts.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I'm biased towards that. I'm more of a submission guy, and I like to see that. But I think, Jason Alexander did push him around the ring, and I think Jason Alexander might have landed a little bit better on the feet.
Yeah, definitely. But Brady had a lot of strong punches on the ground.
Are you ready? Fight!
Round 2 underway. Dalton Brady and Jason Alexander. Jason Alexander in the red corner, red tape on his gloves. Brady with the blue. A little bit of pawing going on here, trying to figure out what the range is going to be, who's going to be the first to come in. Wow, Alexander. I'm sorry, Brady's got a nice tie clench.
Yes, he does.
Notice Alexander dropped to his
Use the
knees.
tie clinch to get him all the way to the ground, and now he's got in. I think he's underneath with that guillotine.
Going for what would be called a prayer choke, a type of a guillotine?
I think so.
Wow, and that might be in tight. It's a guillotine choke, but instead of locking the wrists, well, he's switched it up. He is now locking his wrists
Now he
together.
is in a full-on guillotine.
Arm in. Oh, no, arm out guillotine. I mean, this is tight. He's really
close,
high.
and there
There
he
it
has
is.
it. Yep.
Beautiful submission. Dalton Brady, the victor.
Really well done.
Wow. I mean, that was just such a technical show of submission right there. Very impressive win. Dalton Brady is the one that gets to keep the O, moving on to 5-0 as an amateur mixed martial artist. Sad to say Jason Alexander's got the one.
The Dalton Brady looks like a guy who should be really thinking about his pro career at this point.
I 100% agree. I mean, he didn't go in there relying on brute force or strength or landing a lot of punches. He got him right to the ground. And the fact that he was able to force that submission the way he did, I mean, Jason Alexander didn't fall into that submission. Brady made that happen.
He created that opportunity.
Let's see if we can get a look at the instant replay of that finish. Here we see Dalton Brady. Notice he's got the guillotine choke. It's not in 100%, but he kicks his leg up over the shoulder of Jason Alexander to create more pressure.
Yeah, that's going to be able to give you additional leverage to crank even harder.
Definitely. Even if it's not a choke, at that point with the legs being that high, I mean, he's going to rip his head off. That's a good neck crank as well. Beautiful performance by Dalton Brady here tonight. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end came at round 2, 56 seconds in via the guillotine choke. For your winner, Dalton the Donkey Brady. He is your new Gladiators of the Cage Advanced Amateur Bantamweight Champion of the World. Dalton, how great does that feel right now?
Better than you think, man.
All the way from Canada, come down here. What an absolutely stellar display of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tonight. Very close on a couple arm bars in the first round, and you finished with an excellent guillotine choke, it looked like, from the side there. Was that your game plan going into this, being a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
My game plan was to just beat him wherever the fight needed to go. That was it. Kill him out first round. If I got to go to the ground, go to the ground. I knew he was a good brawler. He's got some good wrestling, and we just get ready everywhere. There's no getting ready for one guy, it's getting ready for everybody.
Well, the performance showed tonight, absolutely stellar performance, best display of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tonight. Anyone you'd like to thank at home or maybe in the audience tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my family, my friends, my team Ascension, my coach Chris Bonfoco, and my new house, the Alford family, please. Thank you. And
Great
Gladiators of the Cage, of course. Gladiators of the Cage.
Great performance tonight. One more big round of applause for your new 135-pound champion, Dalton Brady.
Well, there you have it, folks. Dalton Brady taking a nice piece of hardware back up north to Canada with him tonight. A new title holder here at Gladiators of the Cage. Let's cross our fingers, see if he can't come back and defend that title for us very soon.
Impressive submission victory.
Highly impressive. Coming up next, we've got Garrett Dush taking on Corey Vale in a 170-pound bout. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Working out, living a healthy lifestyle, and eating healthier foods. And there's no better way to kick off the new year than enjoying a mouth-watering Mona Lisa wrap for only $5.99. It's all made with the freshest ingredients and cooked to a healthy perfection. For only $5.99 and under 500 calories, the Mona Lisa wrap is a delicious way to keep your New Year resolution. Muscle Maker Grill. Great food with your health in mind.
Available at Lojack's Yamaha in Tarentum, 724-226-3727.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our 6th fight of the evening in Advanced Amateur Rules. We've got Corey Vale taking on Garrett Dush. Let's take a look at our tail of the tape. We've got Garrett Dush, 27 years of age, a whopping 6'6" tall, 170 pounds with an even record of 4 wins and 4 losses. He's taking on Corey Vale, 22 years of age, 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds with an even record, with an unbeaten record of 4 wins and 0 losses. Right now, we've got Corey Vale coming out. Corey Vale coming from New York, 22 years of age, 5 feet 10.
This guy's, I remember seeing him fight on a Gladiators show. I think it was in December.
Absolutely.
He was very impressive.
Tough as nails, Corey Vale. His last fight was a win versus Tony DiPietro via first-round submission in December of last year. That was it. He's currently undefeated. He has 3 wins via decision and 1 via submission. The submission, obviously, being his last fight in December.
I remember being very impressed by his performance. This kid can fight.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see what's going to play out, though. Corey Vale being 5 feet 10 inches tall, taking on Garrett Dush, 6'6".
I can't wait to see Garrett Dush here. 6'6", 170 pounds.
Corey Vale, really strong fighter.
I remember his camp is on an Indian reservation.
That's right, a Native American reservation.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely a strong team, too. I'm not sure if they have any other guys on the card from that camp tonight, but I remember they had a good showing in the last event that he fought on.
They did, well-rounded. He comes in with, a Muay Thai-style trunk on, which can give people the impression that you know how to strike but maybe not grapple. But he had good wrestling and good jiu-jitsu, and he finished with a submission.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about those Muay Thai trunks is that they're really open, like a belt out at the bottom of the legs. They give you a lot of movement with your legs for kicks, but I almost see that as being like a tactic, trying to get your opponent to think that you don't know how to grapple because you're wearing those Muay Thai trunks. Young guy, Corey Vale, 22 years of age. Let's have Dan Bogan call in Garrett Dush.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next event is being contested under advanced amateur rules, and it is the Gladiators of the Cage Amateur Welterweight Championship of the World. First, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 168 pounds. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, 22 years of age with a 4-0 record. He fights for the Flint Island Warrior MMA from the Tonawanda Indian Reservation in New York, from Arcade, New York, Corey Super Saiyan Vale. We need the red corner out now. Garrett Dush. Garrett Dush to the staging area.
Specimen. 6'6", 170 pounds, fighting out of Pennsylvania. Garrett Dush's last fight was a win via submission versus Derek Hayes in October of last year. He began his career fighting in Ohio as well, and I only point that out because the variation in rules of MMA. In Ohio, they start out fighting with what we know as the advanced amateur rules. So, I mean, Garrett Dush has been in the advanced amateur rules his whole career, doing ground and pound, kicks and knees, I believe, to the head.
Certainly. And there is a lot of Garrett Dush.
And he's not extremely scrawny either. I mean, you would think 6'6", 170. I can't imagine what his weight cut must be like.
I couldn't, 80, 90 pounds?
He has a leg surgically removed for the weigh-in and reattached afterward.
I was expecting a string bean, a guy who was desiccated, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I have no doubt that Corey Vale is ready for this. You know, Corey Vale is a performer. He's a very good fighter. He's very smart.
Sure, and I think, Corey Vale is a little more powerfully built. He's a little more compact.
At 69 pounds under the red corner, he stands 6 feet 5 inches tall. He is 27 years of age with a 4-4 record. He fights for Clarion MMA and Team Nowhere MMA from Clarion, Pennsylvania. Garrett Dush! Ladies and gentlemen, this is your vacant Gladiators in the Cage Amateur Welterweight Championship. 3-minute rounds. Your referee, Bill Bookwalter.
All right, you want to touch? Okay, touch now if you want. Okay, touch now if you want. When the bell rings, you're live. Okay, there you go, all the way back to the corner. Okay. Okay, buddy, you ready? Buddy, you ready? Fight!
Round 1 underway. Garrett Dush taking on Corey Vale. Wow. That is exactly what Corey Vale needed to happen. Kicked the legs out of Garrett Dush right off the bat.
Just came right under with that tie kick. Whether it was great timing or good luck, he knocked Dush right on his tush.
On his patoot. Insofar, I mean, that is exactly what Corey Vale wants to happen. I mean, he's got Dush down on his back, and he's passing the side control already, possibly getting knee on the belly, it looked like for a second.
It looks like he's trying to pass the mount here.
I mean, that's exactly what he needs to happen. If I were Corey Vale right now, I would be looking for mount, and I would be looking to pound him out. I mean, Garrett Dush is a really, really big guy. He needs to stay away from the guard of Dush.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be in, and here he is,
full mount,
trying to rain down the punches.
Stay on his ears.
Dush is doing a good job with his double underhooks, keeping Vale's posture low, not able to sit up and really unleash some punches. But I mean, we're 1 minute into the first round of a 3-minute, 3-round fight. Possible armbar.
Armbar by Vale. I think he might.
Oh, wow.
Dush able to spin out.
Beautiful spin out by Dush.
Nice escape.
And now Dush is on top.
Dush showing his stuff, showing that he belongs here in this fight with Vale.
Wow. Very athletic and good movement by Dush.
Good slam there by Vale.
I mean, Vale's got a lot of legs to grab onto whenever he wants to get that double leg takedown.
And I would think he's probably going to want to keep this on the ground, stay close, stay stuck.
I would have to agree.
Stand up, he might just get outranged.
Dush lacing his toes into the fence. If I were Vale, I'd punch that.
You would be allowed to punch that, and that would hurt really bad.
I've always thought that would happen eventually. Somebody's going to stick their toes in the fence, and somebody's going to punch it and rip their toes off their foot. And then the next day, no one would ever do it again.
Watch the spine, watch the spine.
It would be banned immediately after that.
Oh, yeah. Nice slow time jiu-jitsu by Corey Vale. I like how he's slowing the pace down a little bit, getting a good position. Wow, and Dush about to pull back to guard.
I think he's got half here.
Such long legs. I mean, he's got the half, but he's still walking on the cage with his feet.
Watch the back of the head, watch the back of the head.
Vale having a hard time finding a place to punch that isn't the back of the head.
Which is a testament to what Dush is doing right now. That's by design, I would say.
It is. He's hiding the legal target areas.
I would look for Dush to possibly go to deep half guard. I mean, he's got double underhooks.
Yeah, there's just not enough time now.
Round 1 underway. I would have to give that to Vale, but that was a lot of scrambling.
It was, but I think it's easily Vale. Vale dominated from the top position, had
Absolutely.
the takedowns. The best thing I could say is Dush had a fantastic escape from an armbar, but I'd rather be the guy attempting the armbar than the guy escaping.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the thing about this fight right now is it could change at any second. With the length of Dush, I mean, he could just figure out a way to pull off a really good submission. I would say maybe a triangle would be in the works for Dush.
Sure.
But Vail, I mean, Vail's he's taming it. You know, he's taming the long limbs of Dush.
Yeah, I think he has very good jiu-jitsu, and he's sort of tying Dush up and kind of making his long limbs work against him.
Absolutely.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Fight.
Round 2 underway. Garrett Dush in the red corner, taking on Corey Vail in the blue. Let's see how Vail is going to attack Dush, what Dush is planning on doing. I would expect some kicks by Dush.
I would think Dush actually might want to. Wow! He got
Wow! Look at taking advantage of that knockdown is Vail. Dush is holding on.
Dush is trying.
Oh
Dush is not done here.
Dush is going for a leg lock.
Wow.
What a
This is an insane 20 seconds of action.
Oh my God. Going for the knee bar is Dush.
There, he is on it right now. He has it.
Oh my God.
It's in. He might be able to finish this.
What?
It just twisted sideways. If they were allowed to heel hook,
that would be it.
He probably would have gotten that.
Dush might still be a little bit dazed from the knockdown. I mean, Vail cracked him with an overhand. Cracked him.
I am shocked that he was able to keep the presence of mind and recover quickly enough from that bad strike.
Kudos to our referee for this bout. I mean, he really made a judgment call on to whether or not to stop that.
And I think he made the right one.
I do think so. Vail is just living in Mount right now.
Now I think Dush is in a little more trouble. The way
he's still intelligently defending himself. I don't know.
Yes, well, yeah, he's turning, so that's a good sign.
Dush is so big that Vail.
That's it.
Vail's in the ring.
Oh my God. Wow. What a performance by Corey Vail. My jaw's on the floor right now, Mike.
Stay.
That is right there another guy who is probably going to be turning pro soon.
And it looks like Vail injured his leg during that fight. I mean, it all started with the knockdown by Vail. He had to reach really high to land that punch. I hope we can get a look at the instant replay of that shot. Wow. There you have it, Corey Vail, 170-pound champion for Gladiators of the Cage. Taking some hardware back to New York with him.
Sure, and honestly, I think he's a guy, if he turns pro, he'd probably cut to 55.
I would
and
say
there
so.
he would be very impressively large.
I mean, he just showed that the size doesn't matter to him. He can do it. He can do it hard. You can tell the pedigree of a camp, I think, whenever you have a fighter that wins spectacularly like this, and the coach still looks kind of bored. I mean, there was not a lot of cheering. He expected that to happen, and that's something.
No, that punch was great.
I hope we can see that.
And I hope that's what we're going to get for the replay coming up.
Because that was the beginning of it all. Cut and Run Studios killing it. There we see Corey Vail.
There it is.
Wham!
Wow.
I mean, that's a textbook slip and rip. Ducked the opponent's punch and just winged one out himself.
He got 100% of that.
And look how smart, how immediately he swarms the opponent and gets right into full mount.
He got into mount really fast and just was unloading.
Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end came at 1 minute and 37 seconds of round 2 via the rear naked choke for your winner and new Gladiators of the Cage amateur welterweight champion of the world, fighting out of the blue corner, Corey Super Saiyan Vail.
I have first one question to the fans. Who came here tonight to see Corey Vale crowned the new 170-pound champion? Great performance, Corey. Absolutely stellar. You controlled the fight the whole way through. You got out of a couple tough spots. It looked like that knee bar was tight. You persevered. How great does it feel?
It feels amazing, but first off, I want to say I dedicate this fight to Kevin Rozier. He was the original, the #1 UFC. He died a couple months. So this is for you, Kevin. Love you. I want to thank the Spohn Academy down in South Carolina for letting me get ready. Alex and Sabrina for letting me stay down at their house. And my bad. And John for giving me a job at Gold's Gym.
Well, absolutely stellar performance. You're now 5-0, and you're the 170-pound Gladiators of the Cage champion. Let's hear it for Corey Vale.
Feels great.
Well, there you have it, folks. Corey Vale moving on to an unbeaten 5-0 and taking home the belt. Very, very impressive performance.
Really impressive. That guy is, you know, what you would call in baseball a five-tool player.
Coming up next, we've got Steve Mowry taking on Chris Araujo in a heavyweight bout. But first, a word from our sponsors.
The new 2013 Yamaha Raptor 700R. The most powerful, best performing sport ATV on the planet. Now in 3 great models, all assembled in the U.S. and all ready to launch.
Available at Lojax Yamaha in Tarentum, 724-226-3727.
Badass Pads, the new reusable motorcycle seat. Badass Pads use pressure-sensitive sticky gel to ensure no scratches, rings, or dents. Badass Pads also feature a gel and memory foam insert for maximum comfort. Application is easy. Simply remove the protective plastic and place on a clean, dry fender or rider seat. When done, replace the plastic and store for the next ride. Get your Badass Pad today. Available in 3 sizes at badasspads.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our 7th bout of the evening. It is a heavyweight title bout. We've got Steve Mowry taking on Chris Araujo. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. We've got Steve Mowry, 22 years of age, a whopping 6'9" tall, weighing in at 230 pounds. Steve Mowry is 6-0 undefeated fighter, taking on Chris Araujo, 28 years of age, 6 feet tall, weighing in at 260 pounds, with an amateur record of 3 wins and 2 losses. This is going to be a very exciting fight, Mike. Something interesting to note about this, both fighters are Caged Madness champions. Now, Steve Mowry is currently the Caged Madness heavyweight champion, where Chris Araujo is the super heavyweight champion. This is obviously a league other than our own, but I like to think of this as kind of a unification bout.
It is, and it's a big one because both these guys are very big. We just saw a guy fight who was 6'6", but he is tiny in comparison to these men.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Steve Mowry, 6'9", 230 pounds, and he's not fat. I mean, Mowry is built. He's strong in every sense of the word. We're taking a few minutes here, ladies and gentlemen, to call out our fighters. We can still discuss what's about to happen. We're about to see two guys clash in a really ugly way.
And I think the way this is going to break down, honestly, is Steve Mowry is a jiu-jitsu guy. He's a jiu-jitsu phenom, if you will. Chris Arroyo, more of a hitter. So
yeah, I mean,
Chris is going to be looking for the knockout, the stoppage, something like that. And most likely Mowry's going to be trying to put this on the ground.
100%. Mowry, I'm not sure exactly of the titles. He's highly touted in jiu-jitsu, but here we have Chris Araujo coming out.
Araujo, I'm not entirely certain, but
here we got Chris coming out. He's 5'2" as an amateur. I misspoke earlier. 28 years of age, 6 years the elder of Steve Mowry. Araujo's last fight was a win via decision versus Eddie Faison in May of this year, so he actually fought less than a month ago. Like I said, he's the current Cage Madness super heavyweight champion. Big guy. I mean, big, strong, but the fact that he's fought and won decisions tells me that he is a game fighter and he's got the cardio to go the distance.
This is going to be, this is actually a fight I've been looking forward to since I got here tonight. I like seeing big guys go at it. Everybody likes this.
Heavyweight MMA is what makes the world go round. I mean, a lot of times people don't know the intricacies of the game, and whenever you see smaller weight classes, that's a lot of what's happening. It's intricate moves, fast movements, you know, but heavyweights are the ones that go in and they knock each other out. You know, Steve Mowry has won with knockouts, TKOs, and submissions, but, you know, Chris Araujo, he's got a lot of knockouts on his record.
Well, I mean, for years and years and years, the so-called the toughest man in the world would have been the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. And when you would ask anybody who's the champ, you know they meant the heavyweight, not the middleweight, not the lightweight champ. When you're asking who is the champ right now, it's the heavyweight. Why? Because heavyweights end fights early in brutal and dangerous ways.
Steve Mowry, big as shit. Look at this guy.
There's a lot of Steve Mowry to go around.
Nice, handsome guy, huh? Check in.
Got a great hairline. Very envious.
Rugged beard. I actually have had the opportunity to grapple with Steve Mowry. I consider myself a jiu-jitsu player in my own right. And rolling with Steve Mowry was like rolling with a bag of sand that can choke you. I could not move him. I couldn't pick him up. I couldn't slide him around. I had nothing. And then I was unconscious. So, I mean, he's a phenomenal grappler. I believe he's a national champion in some respect. A lot of different leagues with jiu-jitsu, but he has won a lot of titles. He's traveled for jiu-jitsu. And trains with Mike Demko.
Mike Demko's the guy in the corner there putting on the Vaseline. And Demko, he just got his BJJ black belt awarded, I think about a month ago.
Was it Eric Paulson, I believe?
Yes, Eric Paulson, who I think is Machado under the Machados. So,
combat submission wrestling expert.
I think that's the lineage there.
Mowry ducking to get into the cage. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for the heavyweight amateur Gladiators of the Cage Championship. First, introducing your challenger, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 261 pounds. He stands an even 6 feet tall, 28 years of age with a 5-2 record. He fights for 3 elements Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He fights for the Barn in Utica, PA. He also represents the National Guard. He's a member of the 1st 112 Infantry. He is from Meadville, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Chris Araujo. And his opponent and defending heavyweight amateur champion of the world. He weighed in at 232 pounds. He stands 6 feet 9 inches tall, 22 years of age, undefeated at 6-0. He's from the Wrecking Crew Jiu-Jitsu and the Club Boxing Center in Butler, Pennsylvania. He is from Butler, Steve Mowry. Your referee, Bill Bookwalter.
Fighting, guys. Okay, back to your corner. Stay loose. Wait for the doctor back in the cage.
Just a very minor delay.
Here, just stay loose. Wait for the doctor.
We are just waiting to start the fight until the doctor gets to ringside.
It's a pretty smart policy we have with our athletic commissions. You have to have a doctor on hand. You never know what's going to happen, what might require immediate attention. Probably a fairly awkward 30 seconds or so for both fighters.
Anybody here a doctor? Dr. J.
Good. Okay. Steve, you ready?
Dr. Kevorkian.
Right. Fight!
Is there a doctor in the house?
Dr. Dre. Oh, big shots thrown already by Araujo. Big kick there.
Nice kicks.
Araujo, he's moving.
He can move. Move for a guy his size. Yeah. Oh, he just whiffed with that, but that had KO written all over it.
Yeah, Araujo not afraid to get in close and mix it up, which is what he's going to need to do to fight a guy with the size of Mowry. I would say Araujo's key to success here is to not go to the ground.
Most likely, I do not think he wants to go to the ground. Even being on top, I imagine Mowry's guard is a substantial threat.
I'm wondering if this is part of the game plan for Araujo to chop out the legs of Mowry, make it a little bit more difficult for him to shoot and try to get to the ground. But I can't believe how light on the feet Araujo is for a guy 260 pounds.
And kind of a squat 260.
Yeah, I would say so.
You know, he's actually very light-footed, and he throws kicks well.
Yeah, his kicks are going nice and high. I mean, he's a flexible guy.
I mean, I dare say, you know what? It reminds me a little of a Mark Hunt.
I would have to agree with that. I mean, maybe even better kicks than him.
Nice sprawl.
Easily stopping the takedown.
Almost a knee to the face there. Almost. That was close. Which is an illegal technique in the amateur ranks here.
I would have to say right now, Araujo's piecing up Mowry. I mean, he's not creating any damage on the face. Mowry's smartly using that push kick.
Lowry's landed a couple of those push kicks, and they're really nice. And he's landing some jabs here, and he's kind of doing some damage to Araujo's face. But
this might be the one. There it is.
That was a good takedown.
Very bad spot for Araujo right now. Mowry, a high pedigree jiu-jitsu player.
I think it's going to be very hard to get Lowry off.
Yeah, this is exactly what Mowry wants. He's a smart grappler. He'll likely take his time, not make very many mistakes. Switching to what we know is twister side control to pull him out. There it is.
Nice, man. Really slick. And he is going to try to just pound this out.
Araujo hiding his head. Smart technique, but with a guy this big on top of you, I mean, it's tough.
Trying to hide the legal target zones. Flipping his head back and forth there. Smart.
Smart. Now we're using his grapevines, or his hooks, as you will, to keep Araujo from really posturing his hips up very high.
I think at the 10-second mark, he's going to try a submission here.
Armbar, looking for the armbar.
Looking for that armbar. Probably not quite enough time to pull it off.
Time.
But
yeah, he ended that round very smartly.
Good round.
Well, we see what's happening now, folks. It's Steve Mowry looking to get him to the ground and perform some
great job staying on those ears for him, okay?
Araujo throwing bombs.
And I would give that round to Mowry, who I have to apologize to because I was calling him Lowry for a minute there, but it's Mowry, and he, I believe, won that round.
You've probably got Lowry's steak seasoning on your mind.
I do. I always
Really
have
good.
steaks and seasoning on my mind.
And I've always got Steve Mowry on my mind. What a guy. Look at him.
That's a little weird, but I'll go with it.
I like his fighting. So, I mean, we really saw a tremendous amount of footwork and movement out of Arreo. Not exactly what I expected from a guy his size, but that's kind of a pleasant surprise. I could see big things coming through that.
Yeah, he's kind of fleet of foot.
Yeah.
And agile.
Absolutely. With the right game plan, I mean, if he can keep Mowry off and take him to the ground, he might be able to pull off some stuff.
I think
take a step back to the corner
he
for me,
seems
bud.
also chock full
One
of
step back
power,
for
and
me,
if he
Steve.
could land the one big shot,
Are you
I
ready?
think that could turn the fight.
Fight, ready? Fight!
Round 2 underway. Steve Mowry, Chris Arreo. Mowry in the red.
Time.
A little bit of a low blow there.
Yeah, Mowry having to suck it
I know
up.
he's
He
tall.
has up to 5 minutes to recover.
Just soft warning, not a hard
Totally
soft warning. Watch
unintentional.
sticks. I know he's tall.
Absolutely,
Anything
it
towards
is
the red
definitely
basket's
a
gonna
move
land
that will
lower on him than
affect
anybody
you
else, all right? So
pretty
he's got a couple minutes to recover.
significantly.
Stay in the corner for me. Okay, I just gave him a soft warning. Do me a favor.
This is
Deep
the
breath
time,
in.
though, Rejo, whenever
Deep
you
breath out.
land a low blow on an
100% good to go
opponent,
from
you need
the
to stay
kick. Okay.
ready. A lot of guys will feel
Time.
bad, but
Fight!
you shouldn't. He
Yeah.
needs to stay there and get ready.
Mentally, you can't allow yourself to be sympathetic.
Mowry throwing a lot of good long kicks.
Good hook by Arreo.
Arrejo's just winding up, looking to throw a bomb. You can see it. You can see the way he postures his hips. Beautiful multiple
Nice series of
punch
punches
combos.
there.
Oh, my God.
What's that?
I like to think Arreo is kind of finding his rhythm and his range here. Nice body shot.
I'm liking that Arreo's going up high, going down low.
Spin kick by Arreo. Spinning back fist followed with a shot there. But Mowry with the double leg.
Very smartly placed double leg. He waited until
Really?
Arreo was coming off a punch and just grabbed the legs.
Arreo just got a little bit too aggressive. Just forgot that he needs to defend that takedown at all times.
That's why they call Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that's the patient martial art. I mean, he's going to wait for his opportunity. He's going to pull. Oh, it looks like he's going for a Kimura, a far side Kimura. Straight arm bar. Oh, my God.
It looked like he straight. It looked like it was straight. It looked like he straightened it out.
Steve Mowry.
Steve Mowry looking like he's going to fall directly on top of us.
That's a beautiful
at the
celebration.
broadcast area.
Mowry with the heavyweight championship. What a fight. I mean, he really endured a storm there.
Yeah.
137. Tap out due to a straight armbar.
Nice show of respect by both fighters. They both know they had a battle.
Hey, don't go.
I mean, that was a really slick submission there. I hope we can get a look at that on the instant replay.
I would like to see that
Hey, I was watching
in
that. That was a
particular
straight armbar, right?
and see exactly what happened. I think it was a Americana that got straightened out, so it became a straight armbar.
Gloves working off.
Yeah. See, it was an Americana.
And then it went straight right
just
there.
unwrap the tape. They generally come off fairly easy.
Right, if you will.
You say that.
Wow, I mean, that's a testament to the strength of Steve Mowry as well. That's not an easy move to finish.
That really isn't.
A lot of the times, if your opponent's strong enough, they'll be able to just literally kind of muscle their way out and twist their
keep
arm
working
in
that.
a
They
way
need
to
to
get
see
out
it.
of it.
Oh, okay.
Mowry's
Yeah,
strong,
he'll probably
he's
just
confident, he's precise.
I think it's not only his strength. He got really good arm placement on that, where his forearm rested underneath the elbow was pretty much right where it needs to be to finish that.
Hey, you gotta get back in the cage. Don't ever do that if the little.
Well, that's all there is to that. Steve Mowry moving on to an unbeaten 7-0 and retaining the belt.
Very impressive.
This doesn't exactly mean that Mowry's the Cage Madness champion, but, you know.
It kind of does.
It kind of does. I mean, he still is. And I mean, there's a pretty significant weight discrepancy between the two of them as well. You know, Maury's 230, facing the 260 at the time of the weigh-ins. Who knows what he weighs right now?
Yeah, I think that the problem here is Arroyo, I think, is a slightly better striker than Maury, but Maury is way better at jiu-jitsu than Arroyo.
Absolutely.
And as soon as it moved to the grappling sphere, he was so overmatched.
Absolutely. Let's send it to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end came at 1 minute and 37 seconds of the second round via the tap out for your winner and still heavyweight amateur Gladiators of the Cage champion of the world, Steve Maury from the red corner. Charlie Smith, take it away. Butler, where are you at?
Steve, great job tonight defending the heavyweight title against a very game opponent. What's next for you, Steve?
Have a few more amateur fights, I think. Who knows? We definitely have big stuff in the future, just nothing I can talk about right now. But I do know that I can thank my team, my coaches, all my training partners, my friends and family, everybody who came out. I see all you guys, everybody who cheered for me, everybody in Butler. Thanks so much.
How many people come out here to see Steve win tonight?
I love you guys. Thank you.
Great job. We look forward to seeing you defend the belt in the near future.
Thanks so much. God's so good. Thanks again, everybody.
Congratulations. Great job, Steve.
Well, there you have it, folks. Steve Maury continuing his unbeaten streak, and now the Gladiators of the Cage heavyweight champion. Coming up next, we've got Francis Healy taking on Matt DiMarcantonio. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Click Vodka, the new black.
Family owned and operated since 1956, Gillette Towing and Services are here for you. Our tow trucks operate 7 days a week, 24 hours a day when you need a tow. We offer hauling of heavy machinery and freight and can move oversized loads with escorts and cover all 48 lower states. Our excavation, demolition, and paving equipment can take care of any construction project you're working on, large or small. If your car needs repairs, we can handle mechanical as well as inspection and emissions. Call us today at 724-226-1222 or visit our website at rongiletteinc.com.
Inaugural season.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is our second to last bout of the evening. It is a professional bout between Francis Healy and Matt DiMarcantonio. Let's have a look at our tail of the tape. We've got Francis Mad Dog Healy, 25 years of age, 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds with a professional record of 4 wins, 2 losses. He's taking on Matt DiMarcantonio, 25 years of age, 6 feet tall, 145 pounds with a professional record of 6 wins, 5 losses. This is going to be a really good fight. Francis Healy is a local favorite here in Pittsburgh.
He is. He's a Mat Factory guy, trains with Chris Dempsey, Melissa Gastick, Dawn Mazzotta.
Absolutely. Francis Healy's last fight was a win via second-round rear naked choke versus Manny Milan in December of last year.
I remember that very well, and his hands looked much improved in that fight.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing to note about both these guys is they have both lost to Kamaworthy by TKO in, I believe, the first round.
Wow. But, you know, that's not as much a knock on them as it is just a kudos to Kamaworthy. He's a really good fighter.
Buyers of Pittsburgh and Luigi's Pizzeria and Restaurant.
Yeah, Francis Healy, 25 years of age, as well as his opponent, Matt DiMarcantonio.
Big height difference between them, especially if DiMarcantonio is a legit 6-footer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 4-inch height advantage.
And I'm not quite sure if Francis is entirely 5'8", to be honest. I think he might be a little bit more like 5'7".
I would have to maybe agree with you on that one.
So it could be a huge height advantage. Also, normally, by the time the amateur fights are done, I am so ready for the pro fights because they're usually just the rules create more exciting fights, and you expect the opponents to be maybe a little bit better. But honestly, tonight, the AMI fights have been so good.
I couldn't agree with you more.
That the pro fights have a lot to live up to.
Absolutely. I mean, just from the very first fight of the night to the one we just saw, I mean, we've seen some really impressive things happening here in the cage.
This was the best amateur lineup I have ever seen at a local MMA promotion.
Absolutely. Just another testament to the level of matchmaking we see at Gladiators of the Cage. Almost never a bad fight. I mean, very well-matched opponents, good amateur fighters. They bring people in from all around the country. I mean, we've seen guys coming from New York, from Canada, from Ohio.
Yeah. These fights were well put together, and sometimes, I mean, you can't tell. You look at something on paper and two guys should be good, but who knows?
Here we see Matt DiMarcantonio coming in and as Jiu-Jitsu gi. Apparently a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The black belt is likely from another martial art. Coming from Team Ascension in Ontario.
I would guess the black belt is from a different martial art, unless he's, carrying his instructor's black belt in some sort of ceremonial fashion.
Coming from Team Ascension, the same team that produced Dalton Brady, who we saw take a belt earlier tonight. Very high-level jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai coming from these guys.
If Dalton Brady's performance is any indication of what that camp can do, then this fight is going to be electric.
Absolutely.
Because I'm already very familiar with what Francis is capable of, and I think these guys are going to fight a highly technical back-and-forth battle.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Matt DiMarcantonio's last fight was a loss via first-round TKO versus Kama Worthy in November of last year. And, he's 6-5-0, so he's had his wins, he's had his losses. He's kind of been everywhere he could possibly go in the sport as far as wins, losses, decisions, knockouts, submissions. And that, honestly, a lot of the time, that just means he's experienced. There's not a lot of stuff you can show him or do to him that he hasn't seen already,
And, I mean, to be frank, Kama Worthy is a bit of a meat grinder to walk into. It's just all hands and feet and knees from weird angles, and he's a difficult problem to solve.
Yeah, definitely. And DiMarcantonio, he's got a good build. I mean, he's a svelte guy, for the weight class, 145 pounds. He's big.
He is. Definitely going to have a height and reach advantage over Francis Healy. But Francis is kind of a bit stockier and, might end up being stronger at this weight.
Another fighter doing their ceremonial stomp in the cage. Never quite got it, but
it seems like that might be a thing their camp does.
Yeah. Coming up next, red corner, Francis Mad Dog Healy, like we said, from the Mad Factory. Highly touted fighter in the area. We saw him fight in December of last year. He put Manny Milan in a rear naked choke after absolutely devastating him on the feet.
And I think the thing that Francis has improved most at is his striking. I think in the past, when he lost to Kama, his striking was a bit reckless. He's told me that when he gets hit, his natural reaction is to wade back in and hit more. And I think he's sort of contained that and learned to harness it within, a technical framework.
A phenomenal grappler is Francis Healy. He's a wrestling coach for a local community college.
It's not community college, it's Penn State branch, I believe.
That's it. I'm out of turn. So he's a phenomenal wrestler. I mean, he's a young guy, too. He's not that far out from his days of wrestling. So I'm sure, the experience has been ingrained into him. Very, very good on the ground and very good at getting guys to the ground.
Yeah, and he's a guy who I think wants to pursue this sport, in a higher level professional capacity if he can. Some guys are fighting just to fight, to be out there. Some guys, it's an advanced hobby. And then other guys are really looking at maybe making a run at the UFC and seeing what a career would be like as a real pro, not just in the context that they're getting paid to fight here, but that it is their only source of income.
Absolutely. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our first professional fight of the evening, and it's in the Gladiators of the Cage professional lightweight category. First, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 147 pounds. He stands 6 feet even, 25 years of age with a 6-5 record. He fights for Team Ascension. He's out of Welland, Ontario, Canada. Welcome, Matt DiMarcantonio, D-Marks. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed 147 pounds. He stands 5'7", 25 years of age with a 4-2 record. He fights out of the Mat Factory in Lower Borough, Pennsylvania. From Pittsburgh, Francis Mad Dog Healy. 3 5-minute rounds. Your referee, Bill Bookwalter.
All right, tell you what, Matt, Fred, I'm going to take care of it right now. Come out, touch gloves if you want. When the bell rings, you're live, guys. Okay, there we go. Back to the corner, please. One step back from me, Matt. Matt, you ready? France, ready? Fight!
Our first professional bout of the evening, round 1 beginning between Francis Mad Dog Healy and Matt DiMarcantonio.
Francis Healy throwing a kick under the higher kick of Matt DiMarcantonio and knocking the ground, but Matt able to get right back up.
I gotta say, the height difference right here is really big. I mean, you don't think about it looking at it on paper. Whenever you see them in the cage next to each other, Healy looks almost small.
Grab the cage.
Definitely has a stronger physique, I would say, than Matt, but
he does, and oddly enough, there's been a couple of these matches tonight where one guy is just taller and sort of thinner, but
Wow. DiMarcantonio flopped to guard to try to pull off a Kimura that he gripped. He originally gripped the Kimura in order to defend
on it. He is on it. It is behind Healy's back, and Healy is in pain. And it's over.
It is over. Healy was making a squirming face.
I think he might have dislocated his shoulder.
Wow. DiMarcantonio forced that submission, imposed his will, and won the fight. That's unbelievably impressive. Originally, Healy went to get a single leg takedown, and Matt DiMarcantonio did the standard. He put himself into a topside Kimura grip to try to defend, flopped to guard, and pulled it off.
You don't see that finish that often. I mean, most of the time, you're just using it as a threat to stop the takedown. But
we were just talking about that earlier tonight with Sean McSherry, who won a fight, his first fight via first-round Kimura, and I mean, that's really insane. Let's take a look at the instant replay. Here we see, he already pulled guard.
It's behind his back right here. His arm is, his wrist is practically touching his neck.
The idea whenever you do a Kimura like this is, we always say, to try to put his fist between his shoulder blades. And he's doing exactly that. Look at the extension on that Kimura. Celebrating on his back already. I mean, what a feeling that must be.
And I think that Francis held out as long as he possibly could, and there's going to be a runoff for submission of the night tonight. I tell you what.
Wow.
I have never seen so many submissions, so many great finishes. I mean, I thought that fight was going to be way longer and be more back and forth, but
yeah, it's just almost something you never see. I mean, the Kimura that he put onto Francis Mad Dog Healy was literally initially just to keep Healy from being able to clasp his hands properly and complete a takedown.
It's honestly maybe 1 in 1,000 that you see that finish from that position.
Matt, here we go, bud.
Yeah, you are right. The submission of the night is going to be a real toss-up.
Yeah, because his teammate had a hell of a guillotine earlier.
Absolutely. Let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end came at 54 seconds of the first round via verbal tap out by the Kimura lot. Your winner from the blue corner, Matt DiMarcantonio!
Yeah, Francis Mad Dog Healy not looking too happy about what just happened.
And also looking like his shoulder might be
impressive
injured here.
performance tonight with a crowd favorite in Francis Healy. This is your 20th fight tonight. What a way to go on your 20th fight. Was that what you was expecting and planning for?
If I had my back hit the ground, I knew I was gonna attack submissions like crazy. I felt like I was better anywhere in this fight. Maybe not the wrestling, but definitely on the ground, definitely standing. I wanted to showcase my striking, but I didn't get to.
Well, yeah, you didn't need to, and it was a great effort tonight. I knew it seemed like Francis right away with the Mad Factory, a great team. You knew it was going to probably end up on the ground, and it seems like you actually knew that was going to happen, and you went for it tonight. What a great submission. You caught him with the Kimura. How great does that feel?
Oh, man, I'm on cloud 9 right now. This is my 20th fight. It's my coach's 100th to win from coaching. That's freaking awesome. I'm just pumped. I want to thank everyone coming out. My boys came out. Declan. Mr. McGregor and his grandfather came, Mr. Fang, and obviously the beautiful lady right there. Love you, Jess. Yeah, man. Awesome.
Absolutely great performance. We look forward to having you back at Gladiators of the Cage. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. A short finish, and not exactly what we expected to see, but impressive nonetheless. Matt DiMarcantonio making a mark here at Gladiators of the Cage tonight.
That entire Canadian squad that came down here is making a mark. They are well-trained, very proficient fighters.
I couldn't agree with you more. I love seeing them come down to fight. Coming up next, we've got Lewis the Beast Rumsey versus Daniel Spohn, but first, a word from our sponsors.
The inaugural season, this is it. This is we're building it from the ground up, and this is literally the birthplace of the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds.
Today is when the job became real, that this is actually happening. So to see everything put together, the last couple months of work, really rewarding. And I can't wait to see what happens after this.
Where you gonna go when the night gets cold? When the stars are black and the ground is cold.
Available at LoJack's Yamaha in Tarentum, 724-226-3727.
Well, we've been in business for 14 years now. Built it from the ground up. We're a family-owned store. We're open 7 days a week. Our prices compared to our competitors were right in line, if not actually cheaper. We got a little bit of everything.
Here, if a person's not sure, they can ask one of us, and we're happy to help them out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our final professional fight of the evening. We've got Lewis the Beast Rumsey taking on Daniel Spohn. Let's take a look at our tale of the tape. We've got Lewis Rumsey, 25 years of age, 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 228 pounds, with an even professional record of 11 wins, 11 losses. He's taking on Daniel Spohn, 30 years of age, 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 204 pounds, with a professional record of 10 wins, 4 losses. This is what the moment we've been waiting for. I believe this fight is actually a light heavyweight at 205
I think
pounds.
this is a light heavyweight bout.
Daniel Spohn.
Daniel Spohn making his way to the cage. Coming from Ohio, he's 30 years of age. 5 years the elder of his opponent, Lewis the Beast Rumsey. Interesting of note, Daniel Spohn is actually also 5 inches taller than his opponent.
There has been a lot of substantial height differences tonight.
I like it though. I think it makes it exciting, and I think I like to see what happens whenever you have a guy that's a lot taller or a lot shorter, and to see that, like for instance, Corey Vale really taking it to a 6'6" opponent.
It does.
He was 5'10", I think.
It creates interesting strategies and, matchups that, as a fan, you kind of like to see.
That's how this whole thing started, the big guy beating the little guy, seeing how you can do it, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all that jazz. Daniel Spahn's last fight was a win via third-round TKO versus Marcus Finch in March of this year, so not a whole lot of time off between then and now. He started his professional career with a 6-fight win streak. He really had a strong start in his professional career. He had 3 losses in a row after that, but then he won his last 2 fights. So, he's on a 2-fight win streak. He knows what it's like to be on a long fight win streak. The only losses that Daniel Spohn has ever had in his career have been 3 decisions, and then 1 first-round guillotine choke. And we all know a first-round guillotine choke often is just a fluke. A guy's shooting in for a takedown, or a guy's, doing this or doing that, and somebody snatches up their neck and ends it.
Oftentimes it is. The first-round guillotine is kind of an accident a lot of times.
Happens, yeah. Chris Dempsey in the house, as was just stated by our ring announcer, Dan Bogan. I just want to throw it out there for everybody here tonight at Gladiators of the Cage and everybody listening and watching live. Chris Dempsey was recently featured on the HBO television show Silicon Valley, a hilarious TV show, really great series. And Chris Dempsey played a character as a fighter. It was part of the storyline. The show's about, data streaming and yada yada. But Chris Dempsey on HBO, just from little old Pittsburgh.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a star, man.
He is. With a 1-1 UFC record now. He won his last fight.
He really had to work hard for that last win. He deserved it.
Speaking of which, I remember Lewis Rumsey fought Chris Dempsey, I believe, at 205 a while ago. Maybe almost 2 years ago.
Really?
I believe that is correct. Did fairly well. I lost, obviously, but I think went into the 3rd round with him.
Lewis Rumsey, 5 feet 11 inches tall at 205 pounds. He's a stout guy.
What I remember most about Rumsey's performance is he doesn't look like he is in good shape, but honestly, he has tremendous conditioning and cardio. He can go hard and for a long time.
Lewis Rumsey's last fight was a loss to Azuna
Anawu
via first-round KO. But before we talk about that, let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, these bouts are approved and sanctioned by the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission. Your commissioner at ringside is Rick Steigerwald. The executive director is the Honorable Greg Serb. Our judges for this evening's event have been Todd Krushka, John Lepsivic, Kevin Armstrong, and Andrew Adkins. Your referee, Bill William Bookwalter. Your timekeeper at the bell, Stephen the Hammer Kruth. Your physician in attendance at ringside, Dr. Mark Karras. Our ring girls, Crystal, Ashton, and Emma. We want to thank our broadcast team, Grant Berger and Mark Willis. Handling after-fight winner interviews, Charlie Smith, and I'm your ring announcer, Dan Bogan. This is our main event of the evening. and it is in the professional Gladiators of the Cage light heavyweight category, calling for 3 5-minute rounds. First fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 205 pounds. He stands 6'4", 30 years of age with a 79-inch reach. He's 10-4. He trains at Ronin Training Center in Columbus, Ohio. He has fought in the Ultimate Fighting Championship 17 as a finalist, recording the quickest knockout. He's also a Bellator veteran. Welcome, Daniel "Dragon" Spohn. And his opponent is also a Bellator veteran, weighing in at 207 pounds, standing 5'11", 25 years of age. He has a 70.5-inch reach with a record of 11-11. He fights for Team Vicious MMA from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Lewis the Beast Rumsey. Let's get their final instructions from Bill Bookwalter.
All right, Dan, Lou, we've been over our instructions and our bout conduct in the back. This is the main event for Gladiators of Cage 17. Protect yourself at all times, obey my command at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do so now. When the bell rings, you're live. Okay, fine. Dan, you ready? Lou, ready? Fight!
Here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, our main event of the evening. Daniel Spohn coming out quickly, throwing a kick and tripped. Tying up with Rumsey, nice underhook.
Spawn's just kind of pushing him up against the cage, maybe looking for a takedown, an opportunity for knees here.
I mean, this is a professional fight, so I mean, they can do a lot of stuff that we weren't able to see earlier in the night. Elbows, knees to the head.
Also, 5-minute round fights will have a different pace.
Absolutely. Daniel Spohn doing a pretty decent job of holding his underhook, popping out, throwing a shot, and getting right back into it. Sliding himself down to a nice
Here's
deep
the
single.
guillotine attempt by Rumsey.
Oh my.
And that's in. That's deep.
Oh, wow. That's very deep.
Wow.
Rumsey is lifting him off the ground almost.
I have never seen so many good guillotines in one night.
Wow, Rumsey throwing some heat.
Rumsey loves to throw.
Light on his feet is Rumsey as well.
As I said, he is surprisingly spry.
Spohn again pushing Rumsey up against the fence, doing a beautiful job of getting the top of his head and using it to drive into Rumsey's head under his chin. A lot of the idea whenever you have someone's back against the fence like that is you want to keep their chin up. If you can get your shoulder under their chin, your head under their chin, even oftentimes a hand under their chin, if you can keep their chin up, then they aren't able to drop their level. Although Rumsey doing a beautiful job of turning.
Able to reverse him here. Getting that body lock, maybe getting a takedown.
Looks like he's going for another headlock, nearly a guillotine attempt. And just like you said, Mike, this is a 5-minute round. These are 3 5-minute rounds. These guys are pacing themselves in an entirely different way than we saw earlier.
Trying to work that underhook to get Rumsey off of him.
Yeah, Rumsey's doing kind of an effort here, trying to pull the hips out of Spohn. See, the fact that Spawn's back's against the fence, if Rumsey cannot, it doesn't really need to lift him up and dump him for a takedown.
And now,
Spawn
in on the good guillotine.
Wow.
Lifting Rumsey.
That's a lot of guy to be lifting up off the ground like that. Perhaps Spawn should pull guard.
He is, and I believe he's underneath the chin there.
My Lord.
Not enough.
What a tough guy, Rumsey.
Oh. And I think that takedown had a lot to do with possibly Spawn kind of cranking his arm out on that guillotine.
I think so. I think if possibly if Spawn would have pulled guard and been a little more smart about his hand positioning, he wouldn't have put so much pressure on his grip. Nice ground and pound. Nice pace being set by Rumsey here. He's in a good position, having Spohn's head stuffed into the cage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's trying to explosively finish here. I think, you know, he's had enough fights and he's a smart enough fighter that if he knows if he stays in this position, he probably gets this round on the books.
I would have to agree with you on that one.
And also he's probably, you know, able to wear down, tire out Spohn a little bit more than he is being tired.
Spohn scooping under the right leg or the left
Dangerous
leg.
tactic, because sometimes when you get that arm trapped under there, you can't block to your face anymore.
Yeah, I agree completely, but it looks like he's trying to set up an arm bar.
He is.
And he managed to get that arm back out. If he could just get his leg around the head of Rumsey, he's got a shot.
He does. That arm is kind of stuck in there pretty tight, it looks like. So
I mean, we've got 22 seconds left in this round. I don't know if it's really going to work, but submission attempts count.
Oh, he's got a modified Umaplata type position here, but he's only got 10 seconds to make this thing happen. And
he would have to break that arm.
Now he's twisted out to the extent that it's not going to work.
Wow, Rumsey's doing the work.
Yeah, and it ends there with Rumsey landing a few shots.
Round one's in the books. I'd have to give that one to Rumsey myself. What do you think, Mike?
Yes, that's absolutely Rumsey. You know, they traded guillotine attempts there, dueling guillotines.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. A la Frank Trigg, Matt Hughes choking back and forth. Google it, folks. Yeah, you were definitely right about Rumsey. He doesn't look tired at all. I mean, neither fighter does, to be honest, you know.
No, he has unexpectedly good wind and cardio. In fact, he's over in the corner smiling.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, his cardio comes from not so much physical acumen, but I don't think he has any pressure on him. I think he actually loves being out here, and this is not work. And
yeah, he's 11-11. I mean, at this point, what's the worst that could happen? He gets another loss? Who cares? He's just here to fight.
I don't think he's nervous.
I mean, the nerves and the pressure and the emotional toll it takes whenever you fight, that's a lot of the time can take your wind away from you in and of itself.
Oh, big time. Now these guys are out here trading. Nice kick.
Big kick. Impressive dexterity from Rumsey.
Oh, missed with a spinning hook kick.
Yeah, that would have landed right on the button, too, if he had a little more pepper on it. Ooh, big shots. I like the footwork of Rumsey, too. I like how he's just constantly staying active, even outside of the pocket. He's still moving his feet, and he's keeping his opponent guessing on how he's going to come in.
He is. He moves a lot and cuts a lot of angles.
I think Rumsey's literally smiling right now.
Don't grab the cage, Jay. Don't grab the cage.
Look at that. Yeah. Got the turn. Big knee.
Nice knee there.
That was a really nice break and throw by Spohn.
It was.
I mean, even the feints that Rumsey's doing, you know, he's keeping Spohn guessing.
He is. He comes in at different angles every time and with different techniques. And he's thrown enough weird stuff, high kicks, and that little choppy kick there that you never know what's going to happen.
Nice low ankle pick there by Spohn.
Spohn in on that single.
I would be really wary if I were Spohn, though, because we've seen the kind of power that Rumsey throws from the ground and pound in these situations.
Rumsey able to get right back to his feet here.
Look for Spohn to throw some high knees to that head.
Spohn trying to lock on a really good, solid kneeing position there.
And he's doing a good job. I mean, Spohn's really long. He's taller than his opponent. And it's one of those things, if he can get his opponent to bend down in one direction or the other, he's got a lot better of a shot.
Another guillotine attempt.
Nice job swimming for that underhook from Rumsey.
Guillotines are one of the very few submissions that can be easier to finish later in a fight because of the sweat. It can help get that forearm to slide under the chin easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
On both fighters, let's look to advance.
Both fighters are just setting a decent pace for this fight. Just about a minute and a half left in this round. A lot of jockeying for position, a lot of pummeling.
A lot of pummeling against the cage. Short little strikes, not a lot of damage by either party this round.
Let's look to advance. I'm going to separate you. Let's go.
I think one of these guys needs to do something to steal this round.
I agree.
You know, a takedown or a combination by either guy would basically secure them the round.
Knee to the elbow to the back of the head, it almost looked like. I'd be real careful with that if I were Spohn.
Those are close, and the referee moved in to take a better look.
Okay, guys, I need more. I'm going to separate you. Let's go. Last warning.
Wherever he can reach, punching him in the thighs.
Okay, stop. Separate.
Ref break.
Oh, thank goodness.
I think that was a wise decision with 30 seconds left. Nice kick.
Wow.
Nice counter off of that kick.
Second round almost done. And that's it. Second round's in the books. Who would you give that one to, Mike?
I honestly don't know. That was very close. I know judges hate to do this. I would call it an even round.
Yeah, I would have to say so. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying there wasn't a whole lot of action there in that second round as compared to the first.
They kind of both did about the same amount of the exact same stuff to each other.
Yeah, we saw that in the first round, too. They both did like a guillotine attempt. They both kind of had a takedown.
Just watch that elbow. Just one got loose. I mean, very soft warning. No big deal.
You know, it's a good matchup. That's the sign that it's a very evenly matched fight.
Hey, I gave him a soft warning for that elbow.
A fight like this, professional fight, we don't want to see one guy come in and just decimate the other guy. We want to have a show.
Yeah, definitely, because as much as I love finishes, everybody loves finishes. There were a lot of them tonight.
Oh, definitely.
I kind of like the change of pace to a grinder.
Okay, Dan, you ready? So you ready? Fight!
Show of respect.
Yes, sir.
Touching gloves.
Daniel Spohn in the blue corner with the blue tape. Lewis Rumsey with the red.
Oh, nice leg kick and then nice hands by Spohn there.
I'm wondering, what the corners might have said to them in between rounds. Maybe they were saying you need to have a sense of urgency. You need to steal this third round. I could see both the first rounds being maybe evenly matched up. Someone needs to take the fight.
If I were cornering either fighter, I would tell them that this round is an absolute must-win.
Oh, boy. That head kick did not faze Rumsey at all.
Nice body kick there. Nice one.
Oh, my.
Big side kick. And Rumsey says, come on.
Yeah, Rumsey's game, man. He loves to throw him. He's just enjoying himself out there. Both fighters have been on all levels of MMA. Both fighters Bellator veterans, traveled for their fighting, had wins and losses on both ends.
No, they're experienced guys, and it's appropriate for a main event here.
Spohn again jockeying for what appears to be a good position to knee.
He does. I mean, I think he wants to get to a plum or kind of a half-tie plum, something like that, but really good by Spohn digging back in there to prevent the takedown by Rumsey.
Yeah, Rumsey's got one of these styles, man. He'll just, wherever he can get his fist, he'll hit, you know? Even if it doesn't do a lot of damage, I think he just wants to rack up some points. Nice.
There's the takedown by Spohn.
We needed that.
That could be the thing, and now it looks like he has his back.
Yeah, this could be a deciding factor.
This right here could decide, you know, not only this round, but the whole fight.
I think Rumsey may have had his finger in the glove of Spohn. The ref needs to look for that. Beautiful, taking the back entirely by Spohn. He's in a good position too because he's not going to be able to be shucked off and rolled over the back of Rumsey. He's got the fence there.
This is a hard position to actually finish the choke from a lot of times.
It is. It's also a tough position to maintain whenever you have a fighter trying to get you off. You know, it's not all that easy to stay on someone's back right here when he's standing up like that.
Now that's a little bit better. He's right at his position. He's now in line with Rumsey. Rumsey's trying to shake him off, and there was the shake off. Now Rumsey needs a sense of urgency here.
Yeah, a minute and a half left in this fight. This is a determining factor right now.
And he came in punching, and that's great, but he's not going to win this round if he plays this slow, grindy game against the cage.
Action, action, action. A whole lot of the same here in the third. I'd love to see Rumsey complete a takedown.
Fighters, I need more. I'm going to separate you. Let's go.
Break and start throwing those big punches we've been seeing from him.
I think the ref is close to breaking the action here. And
separate. Short time left in the fight. Let's go.
Now Spohn needs to stay out of that, Rumsey needs to stay out of that position and throw if he wants this round.
.24 seconds left on the clock.
I think he's behind in this round, and he needs to let it all hang out.
I don't see a clear-cut winner on either end right now.
Nice punches by Spohn on the way in.
Oh, and he ties up again. That's it, folks. This will go to the judges.
This is a interesting fight. Not the easiest to judge. Realistically, it could go either way, but honestly, I think Daniel Spohn did enough, and I think he won 2 rounds here. Though I will say I kind of enjoy seeing Rumsey fight.
I mean, it's a refreshing thing to see a guy that just gives so little of a shit of what is going on. I mean, he just wants to go out there and bang. And that's what a lot of people want to see. I mean, myself personally, and this is just me, my taste, but I get a little bit frustrated whenever I see people do the leg hump when they go for like a double leg takedown or a single leg takedown, but they don't really have an intention of trying to finish it, and they just kind of chill out there.
No, they just lower their head and sort of tripod against the cage.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get a look at some of the better parts of this fight at the instant replay. Brought to you by Cut and Run Studios. Here's a beautiful sidekick.
Was the sidekick.
The mule kick, if you will. Yeah, beautiful. Rumsey didn't care. I mean, Rumsey smiled at that.
No, I think it's because it caught him sort of in the pec and shoulder area. If that had caught him more in the midsection or the solar plexus, I think he would have cared a lot more.
Absolutely.
It looked worse than it probably was. And it comes with a lot of pushing force. So it's going to drive you back, but that area of the body just isn't really all that sensitive. So
let's send it over to our ring announcer, Dan Bogan, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we announce the winner, a quick reminder, Gladiators of the Cage 18, August 22nd, it will be at the Sirius Shriner Center in Cheswick. Your main event, Mike Wilkins versus Rob Hanna, a fight that has been brewing for several months. Do not miss it, like Gladiators of the Cage on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have all scored this fight 29-28 for your winner. By unanimous decision, fighting out of the blue corner, Daniel Dragon Spohn. Very close decision, 29-28. Charlie Smith, take it away.
Daniel, great job here tonight. Put on a great show, capping off the evening. Really great display of being able to control and dictate the pace of the fight. Is that what your plan really was?
Yeah, and actually, I mean, I got to give props to Lewis. He stopped a lot of what I wanted to do, and I felt really flat-footed today. I don't know what it was, but forgive me, please, guys. Forgive me for not giving the show I wanted my fans, and I promise my next fight will be better.
Well, Lewis gave you a really good fight. He's a tough customer. You did a great job of setting up your takedowns with the punches, controlling the distance, great tie clinch. Excellent victory on your way back to the UFC. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yes, I'd like to thank Jeff Ferguson. He's one of my best friends. I'd like to thank Tim McConaughey. He's my head coach and sensei. He's always been there from the beginning, and he's stuck with me the whole time. I'd like to thank Terry Neff. He was here today. Helped corner me. Young kid, very talented. He's up and coming. I'd like to thank Eric Schlosser. He came to corner me. And I'd just like to thank everybody that's helped me through this and everybody that's get into this. On top of that, I'd like to thank my wife. Without her, she wouldn't let me do it, and I'm just glad she does, and I'm thankful for everything. And to my son and my daughter and my boys watching, hey, guys, I love you guys.
Great performance. We hope to have you back soon and main event again.
Thanks. I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for supporting Gladiators of the Cage this evening. We hope to see you August 22nd at the Sirius Shriner Center. Drive safely. Thank you. Have a good night.
Well, there you have it, folks. A wonderful night of fights. I hope you all enjoyed it. I mean, I can't say that I've seen an amateur card that I was much more impressed with than we had tonight.
Absolutely.
If you're still here, Eddie Vincent,
by
step
far
down to
the
the
best
cage,
amateur
please.
card I have ever seen at a local level fight promotion.
100%. I would like to take a minute and announce the submission of the night winner. We are giving out a submission of the night bonus to Matt DiMarcantonio for his really slick submission over Francis Mad Dog Healy. Here you see it, cranking that arm behind the back. Healy literally verbally talking about how bad that hurts.
Absolutely.
You can see him dropping a four-letter word because of this submission. Hardly even had a chance to tap out. Oh boy, that looks bad. That is the submission of the night. Matt DiMarcantonio will be receiving a check for his wonderful performance.
Very close between him and his teammate Dalton Brady on submission of the night.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, if he was a generous man, he might like to cut his teammate in for a little bit of that sweet, sweet submission money.
100%. Well, we would like to take a moment here to say I'm Grant Berger, and with me is Mike Willis. We would like to thank the Family Sports Arena in Butler, Pennsylvania. Cut and Run Promotions or Productions. Jordan is the man. Gladiators of the Cage. StreamPittsburgh.com. Go to www.streampittsburgh.com if you want to watch this fight over again. It'll be up there online. the Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission for helping all this thing happen, making it legal, making it safe, and the military members serving our country worldwide. Myself, I'm Grant Berger. I'm White Mike Willis. From both of us, from the bottom of our hearts, y'all be good.
Good night.